Yeah.
Across 12 maps, mind you. So these odds from our partners at LootBets, man, I'll trust them. I'll trust them because I don't have any predictions on this. This seems reasonable enough considering Singularity is with the coach. Otherwise, it would probably be 50-50. So let's wait and find out.
Well, good damage to start things off here for Singularity. They start on the C side, of course, and they're hoping to make this cross. So far, not many shots being hit on the CT side to punish that cross, given the deep smokes that Singularity employ, and they're in towards this lower bomb site already. The rotations can come through from HONORIS. They've got Neo in a very strong position to start things off, and if Stomp can get further without getting checked, that could be a huge, huge issue as well.
Stomp's playing from behind the pillar. He could get something big. He's missing his shots. Neo comes in big, though, as Reiko on the other side is also good for one. Stomp finally chiming in, and they won't let the bomb go down. Singularity can't get the kills, despite Taz and Prism being low. It is just Neo coming in and doing the heavy lifting. 2 kills for him, keeping it all together on that first round and preventing the bomb fire.
Yeah, a good early rotation there from HONORIS. The fact that Neo gets into that strong position so early on made things that much harder for Singularity to crunch on towards that bomb site. And maybe that's why HONORIS were kind of looking for those sort of probing shots to start, but it seemed like Neo, as soon as he heard it was an outside call, was fast-footed towards B very early on. Seems like the comms are up at the very least. Maybe some of the protocols practiced in the last game.
Oh, there we go. Door opens in and Taz says hello. Rico is there with him to greet the guest. And then they wonder why no one comes and knocks on their doors from Christmas.
Or Halloween. Really just not a very festive household.
True. Apparently, just shooting people down when they open the door isn't a good idea. In all fairness.
That's pretty, that's pretty dark.
In all fairness, they didn't knock. They just opened it. So, hey. Singularity, though, they would really like to start knocking on a few rounds here and having them answer back. Full AKs come through. At the very least, they do have utility, but even that is slightly limited. Only just a single Molotov, and that's already been used. So expect a faster pace play down into Secret, and that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, Tobas gets to cross without receiving any damage. Castle punishing a push in from Prism. By and large, he's alone locking down this lobby position. He'll be crunched on through. HONORIS losing outside control, the response to go in towards lobby, and miss smoke from Stomp. That's certainly not ideal, but Tobas, they may actually reinvestigate this A bomb site. Tobas is really locking down that rotation, making sure that nobody can help reinforce Stomp's location, and while Neo moves on in, see if they're able to get things done with the scout. Stomp gives up the angle just before they cross.
And Neo is there, yes, but that's so much more dangerous. You want Stomp to be there to get that initial tag in, so Neo has an easier time, and Stomp swings that. Does tag down Nico does. It's Neo to only be good for one, though, as he does get taken down by the players coming in through double doors. It leaves the terrorists on this site as the CTs on ramp are trying to get back in, but the bomb's not being planted for them, and this is not an easy retake.
Yeah, low HP on Cellrate and Nikodos. The tags from the scout certainly could play a factor. Cellrate in with one, but it's a quick trade back from Raiko. Cellrate, he's still hitting shot after shot, and he locks it all down. It's every single one as they emerge into the site, and they don't shoot back. They don't fire and hit the shots on Cellrate. 4 kills for him in the round. Singularity with their first on that B site.
Great stuff from Cellrate, like you said. And he is the player I will always have my eye out on. The first round on the board for Singularity, but they have many more to go. Stomp now has the AWP out. Remember, HONORIS was still playing on that quote-unquote bonus round, which is not really a bonus round when you consider the fact that the CTs never have utility in the round after it. So they could find themselves in a tricky situation. So would like to see some early aggression from Stomp. He is, though, playing a very passive angle, hoping to catch someone out if they make their way over towards Secret.
And you imagine if Stomp has an AWP last round, those tags would have netted in kills instead. Well, Remor's been tagged down pretty low to start things off. They haven't crossed with the smokes towards Secret. By and large, Stomp still holding this from the air conditioner. Well, Taz will receive a bit of pressure now. The flash in towards Garage, the smoke as well. He has a huge gap that he can play around and make sure that Singularity can't get in towards Secret without them realizing.
These smokes are... The utility on Singularity isn't really going all where it's supposed to, unfortunately. Dobas got blinded up by his own teammate's flash earlier as well. Now, though, these two flashes and the one smoke on the CT side comes into question. Can you get much out of this? Then A side hit would be difficult to go for if you're the T's, but they're going over towards ramp where Neo awaits. He's got himself one, repositions and wait for Stomp to come through to give him some support. Neo's wondering whether Stomp needs more help, but Stomp says, no, I'm good, old man. I'm still here and I'm still kicking. Neo, though, oh, maybe you should have helped him. You know, Stomp, this is why you don't call Neo an old man. Neo's a legend. How dare you, Stomp?
Well, they get their hands on the AWP at the very least, so Stomp can get that one back into his hands. Ageism aside, Honoris do get things done once they get their hands on proper rifles. Singularity, like you said, a bit of a weird effort and a poor one at that in terms of the utility usage and just being able to eliminate angles and get themselves into advantageous positions to converge on the sites. So maybe that's to be ironed out in later rounds. Of course, another opportunity at it. A bit of a force by the AK on Tobas, but predominantly pistols coming out and a lot of utility. Seems like they want to make a faster play in towards A, at least based on the buy. They deploy smokes outside, and they're just looking to explode out, it seems.
That's an interesting smoke. Don't know what that's about, but Prism does manage to back off and not be taken down. Reiko outline gets good for one. Nico responds, but it isn't really enough. Daz, who's coming in from the side, adds more and more. And although Nico gets himself 3 kills, the CTs do still walk away with that round. 4-1. Honoris starting to run away with things just a little bit now that the Singularity money is also down.
And Honoris are showing us a little bit more of what Aves kind of refused to do on Vertigo. They're being proactive. They're getting a bit more aggressive, even on rounds where Singularity don't have the best of money. Neo was super fast on the flank through towards lobby, and well, if Singularity don't get that bomb planted and don't retake lobby control, then Honoris are going to have far more avenues to retake from.
More pushing through, but it starts to come in with a quick one. They're just keeping this underneath lock and key. Even with pistols, they're not able to overwhelm with numbers or anything of the sort. Overall, Honoris' position working out incredibly well against Singularity. And unfortunately, the Danish side isn't... Well, they're floundering, and that's really all you can say. Unfortunately, they're just not able to coordinate their attacks together. These pistols are continually being isolated as well, so they don't even take down any CT players.
And the only round they've gotten so far is Celerate getting 4 kills pretty much by himself.
Yeah.
On the Singularity side, we had a round like it on the last map where they played against Aves, where he got 3 entries and they still lost the round. So I think he's going to be a pivotal point for Singularity to get some momentum underway. Tobas using the fight outside. Reiko able to get one, but traded back by Nico as he attempted one more fight. They can cross in towards Secret. Okay, maybe they can't. Taz spamming away. Nico falls right into the line of fire. And now it's just Castle and Celerate to pull things back. Still a 2 versus 3. Still certainly workable. If Castle, that's a crucial duel to lose.
Maybe this is how Celerate wins in this round, though. But as I say, that he got spotted out and tagged down to 22. So that'll be it. Never mind. Reiko just went for a play where you 100% of the time you need a flash to peek that out. But he just blindly peeks out. He's like, all right, I'll be fine. I'll get the kill nonetheless. But if you want to get yourself something which is nice, pretty, and comes in a case, then you can go over towards our partners over on Hellcase. And they're the biggest and most owned case opening website with almost 100 cases, updated case battle, upgrader, dozens of giveaways per month, and more absolutely unique features. You won't get bored with them. Use promo codes to save more and grab what you deserve.
And right now, Honoris are certainly showing us a strong set of feet on Nuke. They deserve the advantage they've set themselves up in so far. Singularity, they've gone for a bit of an SMG buy, some pistols as well. Again, it seems like an overwhelming kind of a style and play. Hoping to maybe burst on through, catch Honoris off guard, but by and large, they've got the presence necessary to stop any sort of A-sided push.
Oh.
Stomp, that first missed shot, you could lose a lot of ground off the back of it, but he's still taking these fights. He's not honoring the fact that they could push in towards ramp and rush him down.
Reiko has been in so many very difficult angles time and time again. At this point, he can play from any point, and I will say, it's okay, man. You do you. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Singularity, though, are going for the straight hot rush, so he will be incredibly important. With him, though, right above him is another teammate on Rafters. They'll be helping each other out, but Reiko's not good for it. Neo and Prism are next to fall. And with that, Reiko, although he finds one, just isn't enough. It's left up to Taz and Stomp. Stomp comes in from the side, though, up above. And Rainboy has been sent back down below.
So now it comes down to Tobis. Has to be the one that pulls things through. The CZ in hand, 2 angles to worry about, but expecting that they've repositioned and grouped themselves up. Tobis, how does he play this? How does he isolate the duel? Stomp spotted out on the high ground, but he's getting rushed down from the side. First duel good against Taz, but right above the site, that's where Stomp will go. He takes the high ground, he forces him out, doesn't know which way to look. Stomp will get things back for HONORIS.
He also only had 2 bullets left in the CZ, unfortunately, so he didn't feel comfortable in actually swinging out wide and trying to take that deal because you need the immediate headshot. So in that situation with the CZ, you're not swinging. You're never swinging like that. You need to wait for him to come in, and it just doesn't work out in his favor, unfortunately. Singularity getting so close. So incredibly close, but just not able to drive it across the finish line. They do get a lot of good damage in, though. They do get the bomb plant. Maybe that's what they need to put HONORIS back on their, back on their toes. Just say, hey, you're not going to have a bye if you lose this round.
And unless I'm mistaken, I think there was a Singularity team kill thrown in the mix of it as well, so...
Slightly chaotic, yes.
Yeah. Certainly a winnable round and a facet that makes things a lot more difficult. Neo is taking up ramp control, and he'll spot out the AWP of Nico at the start of this round. Doesn't seem like Singularity are really pushing off the back of it, however. Neo hasn't felt enough pressure to rotate through either, and well, I could actually see a world in which Neo pushes off the back of this. Initial presence towards ramp and nothing else. Singularity are grouping up for an A play.
I mean, the call should have been made, and that's why Taz is circling around in the back, trying to find the players who are going to be putting down utility. But can Taz get there in time? Let's look at Taz if we can, because he's going for the biggest of all flanks. Taz finds one, takes 2 down, and Accelerate will trade, but it's a little bit too late. Flashes and utility already been thrown from up above. Hut can now be taking control of Reiko. Is leaving it all onto Stomp's shoulder. Stomp knows where they're coming from. He can re-peek out from Lurk Box, gets another kill and a collateral to boot, and it will be a nice little flick to put a cherry on top and then put Singularity's face right through.
Oh, Stomp is just... When he is hitting shots, he's very lovely to watch.
Yep.
Just shots, repositions, and this is quick adjustment.
Oh.
That headshot angle should favor Castle 9 times out of 10, but Stomp's just too quick.
Stomp is that last one, man. And he's still playing so conservatively in the beginning of the round. I have to respect that, because as a young player to have that wherewithal to say, you know, I'll be a baller later on, it's fine. That's always nice to see.
And really, I don't know what the adaptation has to be here for Singularity. They've tried going for some executes, they've tried deploying smokes outside, but they're just not covering off some of the more traditional angles. Stomp can kind of roam about the map between ramp and outside and just have a good time doing so. See, the start of this is Singularity on the back foot, and that's pushed and compounded even further. Neo getting another kill. Raymoy is around the corner hoping to catch Neo off guard, but I don't know that that's going to be quite how he lays it out. Ooh. In fact, catches Raymoy off guard, but the quick adjustment and the tag damage done from earlier certainly plays a factor. Still a 2 versus 4. Reiko has the reposition locked down, and he could very easily find both of these kills. First kill on the bomb plant, or on the bomb carrier, and well, Raymoy meets the same fate. HONORIS look to basically shut out this entire half based on the way that they're playing at the moment.
I think HONORIS have shut out the entire half based on the way they're playing this moment. That's the problem, because I do not see a way for Singularity to come back into this, because HONORIS still have 2 more buys in them. So, although I can say, yes, Singularity can definitely get around, can they get 3 rounds? That's the basic question. Can they get 3 rounds in a row? And they've got to prove it to us. And so far, nothing's really indicated that. Like you said, I would like to see some more executes. The only time they've gone for that was with an eco rush into hut, and that worked out pretty well. Stomp does take down Castle in the meanwhile, which isn't a great way to start things. Taz is even feeling so he's just feeling so confident.
That is, yeah. Don't look at this. Don't look at what Taz has just done as a textbook way to play, because that is certainly not textbook, certainly not something that we traditionally see Taz do, but he is more than comfortable to take those fights, and Celebrate's the last man standing. A 1 versus 4 with the AWP in play, gets the opportunity, but still receiving more and more tag damage as more and more shots being missed, and, well, HONORIS still secured double digits. That's just... Taz is just having fun with things, going for plays like that.
And we finally see a pause from Singularity, the first one from 2 maps, actually.
Yep.
Meanwhile, can I just ask you something? What were you do you think it would be weird to have your own picture as your wallpaper on your phone?
I mean, slightly, unless you've got like a dog.
No, just you,
like
like a sick picture of you, yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to go with yes.
Why is it okay for Counter-Strike players to have their own stickers on their guns?
Okay, I'll say that's different. It's not your face just out there.
I know, man. I know. I'm just playing. I'm just messing around.
If I really wanted to look at myself, I would get a mirror right behind the camera.
It's called a selfie cam, but okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about while we're casting here.
Well, we have our webcams open, but Storm takes down Celebrate, and then he immediately backs off into the vent. He's more than happy to do that. It's all up to Rico, who's getting aggressive in the meanwhile. Does get taken down. Remoy to get 1. Tobe is giving them some hope, but is it a fool's hope right here? Taz looking to get aggressive. Smoke coming out from behind his Stomp, trying to get aggressive on his own. Taz, great transfers. What is this performance coming in from the old guard? Remoy will get 2, though, and is able to successfully punish, but can he successfully win this round? Nade chucked out, beautifully placed. Molotov with it. Remoy is forced out, and Storm is having one hell of a good time.
That looked like a pretty good effort from Singularity. They get themselves onto the bomb site, a position where they can plant, but that one position uncleared. The fact that Stomp's hot on their heels with the AWP, that draws enough attention for Taz to operate, and while Stomp does what he does best, hit nasty, nasty flicks. HONORIS, another round for them, and although Singularity looked good, they put so much emphasis on hut control, and they don't honor door or the vents at all, that it just leaves a wide open gap for that retake. A great performance from the HONORIS individuals, certainly. But Singularity still have yet to find their feet. Maybe Nico could be the catalyst to start off this round. Taz taken down in towards Mini. Stomp unable to convert on a follow-up shot, but a reposition, a quick 1-2. And, well, Singularity, they need to win more of these duels, and they're coming up short in a number of them. Really rough spray from Celebrate. Remoy, all that's left.
Remoy is good for 1. He had a very good game in the previous one, even if they did end up giving it away. Now he's left in a 1v2 with both deals potentially being isolated. And they don't know where the bomb is, so you could see the CTs get proactive. Fortunately, though, Stomp is literally the most passive he has been in this entire game.
Yeah, in a bit of an awkward position as well.
Yeah.
So many angles to cover on that A site, but...
He does have a Molotov, I guess, but then internally, whenever you're in a clash in a 1v2, though, you're always thinking, do I really want to throw some utility? What if they just catch me out the second I pull out a grenade? What if they see where I am because I pulled out a grenade? All of these things are going through your mind. And he does end up getting that first very important kill and drops down immediately. 20 seconds on the clock. This is really well done. He's giving themselves a chance to get this round out. But Neo, he'll realize the bomb is being planted below. Neo himself has also come down through the vents. Will find himself smoked off as well. Is he just going to run through the smoke? Is this happening? No? Okay. Nades himself. Decides that it is a sign from Counter-Strike that you should go back towards the other side. And then he remembers, if I was looking at signs from Counter-Strike, I would probably not be where I am today.
Well, Remor's in a very strong position. The bomb not really planted for him, but at the very least, Neo will be none the wiser to his position. The Molotov deployed to buy a bit more time. No smoke available on Neo to defuse that. And while he's burning in the flames, he cannot get out in time. Remoy pulls it back for Singularity in the 1 versus 2.
Remoy's 12 and 39. How is he? Remoy's
same thing in the last game.
Yeah,
as well,
exactly.
Right?
I don't know what's going on, but Remoy's the only person who's really performing. And listen, guys, I'm really sorry if you're a Danish fan. I'm not sorry, because you've got so much greatness to look up to, so you're really not starving for it. But Singularity is doing really poorly right now, regardless of the fact they have standards or not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this because of the scoreline. I'm saying this because we're seeing so few rounds where I look at them and say, hey, okay, that was impressive utility. Hey, that was impressive movement. Anything of the sort. Accelerate, though, has given us a few impressive shots, and that is one of them. Reiko does respond. Accelerate and Remoy added another few to the tally, and maybe it's their turn to impress.
Yeah, very fast take towards that A bomb site. Accelerate the start of it all. While Neo will hope to recover an AK, get his hands on a kit as well. Will be able to get himself out of there. HONORIS not going to contest this one, giving up the round to Singularity. They concede that was a nice little site take from them, and while they've run out of cash, so saving these guns certainly proves to be in their favor. But yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I don't think there's many ways you can look at this half as an overall victory. They've obviously got a few caveats to the whole operation. We touched on it a few times in the fact that it's stand-in, but even individually, not really shining the same as you would kind of expect Singularity to do. Remoy, the only one that's kind of led the way on both games, and he seems to be still putting up those numbers. Now 14 kills for the side. Let's see if Singularity can close out the half on a 4th round.
They need to. Because as much as I want to say Singularity have looked better, because they did actually look pretty good in that last round, I'll be honest. Very well coordinated. Finch towards Mini coming out. As I say that, they...
Bit of mismovement.
It's all right. It happens for the best of us. But as much as I want to say that, I want them to be in a position where their fate is not entirely decided by a fifth round. And an 11-4 is really important in that situation. So they have a very good chance because, of course, Stomp's the only one with a real weapon, quote unquote. But let's see what they choose to do. Tobiz will be cut off, but he jiggles at the shot. Stomp doesn't land it.
Oh, but the aggression from Prism off the back of that information. Able to get his hands on an AK as well. So another real gun picked up by HONORIS to play around. While Singularity investigate outside, get the smokes, the Molotovs down to deter the CT presence. They actually have a few more options opened up to them now. Now Heaven's exposed, they could potentially make their way down towards Secret, and while they'll look around for Stomp, he's been the one to reposition, lock down Hell so many times before it. Castle, he looked for a bit more presence in towards A. Lobby's been taken by that CT side. Prism takes him down, so a 3 versus 5, where the only real weapon that came into this was the AWP, and it's had no effectiveness thus far. Now Stomp will operate. There's the kill on Nico, and he's followed up with a nade. So much damage done. Singularity, they're trapped in here. There's no way out for them, and Neo catches them from behind with the 5-7. Accelerate in the worst position possible. The CTs can converge, and they shut out the half 12-3.
Well, on the bright side, Singularity is on CT's side now. And Remoy is pretty good. Like, really good. Because somehow he is still on a 1 KD. We do have ourselves our... How?
Again.
You know what? Our partners over at Lootbet get it, but I just said that was the first time I saw a 1 to 10 odds. This is a 1 to 11.28 for Singularity. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't disagree, but
I think this is the first time we've casted together in the Malta vibes where it has just been so one-sided at any given point, really. And while Honoris will try and get things rolling on their T side, they lose the first player in Taz. He was the distractionary one outside. Toba is looking to quell the flames and the regression in towards B, but Prism finds him. Celebrate with another. In fact, the rotation from Celebrate is excellent. 2 quick kills as they try to get this bomb planted. This opens up the door for Singularity to operate now.
At the same time, they don't have a kit, so they have to act quick. Castle with the CZ, not the best on retakes, so Singularity are very heavily relying on Nikodos and Remoy, and Nikodos has gone down. With that, the reposition was also possible from Stomp. Oh, well, he will be taken down finally. Castle and Remoy both do get the kills they need, and that'll be that, but it looked really dangerous for a second. Stomp getting caught out, otherwise it could have gone either way.
Yeah, what a great job from Celebrate, getting the first kill to start things off and repositioning fast enough in towards B that he's able to support his teammate in Prism. That is, or not Prism, sorry, Tobis. But yeah, Singularity, a great rotation coming on through and a good little 2v2 for them to win things right back. Honoris could have, converged. I mean, this was the thing when we said sort of needed 4 rounds on that T side for Singularity. It all hinged on that pistol round for them, and well, they get that first piece of the puzzle.
This is the point where Singularity is just reassuring themselves. They're saying, it's going to be okay, guys, just don't lose this round. Because this is the round where, you're really expecting Honoris to have gone for a full buy off the back of the bomb plant. But surprisingly enough, Honoris is actually ecoing. They have some deagles, yes, but what I'm worried about now is if Singularity ends up playing as you would against the Force Buy, where you're expecting the full AKs, where, you're really trying to clump up players, which leaves a lot of map control against you. Now, Nikodos is scouting out towards outside. He will be able to have Celebrate chime in and help him out just a bit, but as he realizes that Stomp is around the corner, yes, he does. Takes him down and decides that, you know what? Scout's overrated. Why don't I just continue with my pistol?
Yeah, and just kind of looking at the game that Honoris played earlier on in the day, the fact that they played Nuke, Honoris didn't get to really play too much of their T side, so maybe they don't have that sort of iron out the creases moment. Maybe they don't have that to sort of delve back in on. Of course, there will be some preparation to have gone into this map, but whether or not they are able to execute better than we saw Singularity do on their T side as well is another caveat, right? Maybe Singularity will just have a bit of a better time on the CT side because Honoris will be as disjointed. We all have to wait and see. Of course, the gun round coming out from Honoris. The T side AWP is available in Stomp. And Celebrate in that position we saw previously from Reiko, and he's on the receiving end of it this time round. The flash to follow it up, but Stomp and Neo find 2 quick kills right back.
And now these MP9s need to start getting jiggy with it because they are needed to make a move. Remoy, is he going to be expecting this from Prism? Prism does get scouted out, so when he's forced back, they do get information, unfortunately, that there are multiple players in lobby. So that is a great time for them to start moving out towards Secret, trying to get inside and trying to get over towards that B side, perhaps. Even outside control to take control of Heaven is a possibility. That's how much access they have to the entirety of this map. Sure, you expect it in a 5 versus 3, but it is going to be dangerously difficult for Singularity to bring this one back.
Yeah, no presence on that B-bomb site, just hoping that Honoris push a little too far and then trying to find out where the CT players are. Taz will make his way up towards the heavens, and for now there's nobody spotting that on the side of Singularity, even with them having a very, very open B-bomb site. Oh, Taz gets caught out by timing. Toba's looking for more information, catches him out, brings it to the 3-on-3. Of course, the weapons advantage is still being held by Singularity, or by Honoris, sorry, for now. but they have to now retake into this. They have kits available. They have a smoke, a Molotov, a flash as well, so they're certainly doable for the CT side.
Their positions are known though. Stomp knows exactly where that CT is coming from, and that's why he's got some assistance from his player, but he won't need it. It's Prism to chime in with a quick kill. They don't expect Remoy, but it won't matter, as Neo will have him revealed. The crossfire. Yes, I forgot what the word was. Sorry. The crossfire was impeccable, and they do come out on top. HONORIS really nicely done fighting those early 2 kills. But I wanted to quickly give some love to the CT side for actually scouting out Prism's position earlier on. Always nice to see them being that aware of that little angle that you can hold.
And it was that sort of trader positions we highlighted from HONORIS as well on their CT side. They lose outside control. They look for a bit more space towards lobby instead, right?
Yeah. Oh dear, Prism.
Yeah.
It's a very, very fortunate kill if you're a Polish fan.
And well, after that initial kill found, Prism's going to receive a bit of pressure. Ooh. Castle even going so far as to go up the ladder, and he's not spotted out. Neo, that's a free frag for Castle, and he's going to be a huge thorn in the back sides and the back lines of this T side. Then follow-up kill from Nico actually secures his exit, so they have full lobby control. They found a man advantage to work off of now, and HONORIS need to be worried about the flank constantly now as they look for some sort of way into A or B respectively.
HONORIS want to get a pick off as well, but it doesn't look like they will be presented with the opportunity. Singularity is playing so defensively. They've turtled up inside their sights. If Castle reveals himself, he'll be regretting it, but he'll be regretting the fact that he didn't see that player even more. The spray is sloppy, and Rico takes him down. It's very unfortunate. I hate to see that happen, especially when it's the coach who's standing in. You've got to feel bad for him. But a 3v3 with Stomp being the only person who's low, Stomp is fine with that. He's got the AWP, and sure, it's not risk-free, but it's a lot better than having an AK.
20 seconds left for HONORIS to get on the side. The smoking towards the double doors will be a huge benefit to them. The utility as well to flush out the troublesome angles. The spam not going to quite hit on Taz either, but the CTs are very close and right behind these smokes. The low HP on Stomp as well is certainly not ideal. Has to play so passive off the back of it. And as these smokes now fade, now the pressure builds. Singularity, they have an opportunity to come back into this. Stomp smoked and flashed off of the position. Celerate finds the first, Nico with another, and while the low HP is Stomp, he didn't really have a chance. The FAMAS finishes him off. All the Singularity players stay up in the retake, and they'll keep HONORIS from getting to 14 just a little longer.
A very good retake coming out. You've got to give them full props for that.
Yeah.
Long diffuse, yes, but incredibly well peaked. They isolate all of the duels one by one successfully because they had the information, yes, so they knew where these players are, but knowing all of your angles perfectly, knowing who's peeking first, knowing who's peeking when, that's all really important, and they get that down. And I will be honest, those fundamentals have been missing on Singularity, especially on the T side. I've seen them throw the same smoke simultaneously multiple times. I've seen them make a lot of utility mistakes, so generally just good to see them pulling off something so nice and choreographed.
No, we'll see if it's a blind one or perhaps a show of things to come here from Singularity. The first kill in from them, and well, it's just pistols from HONORIS. They're looking to close the distance, get themselves into a site very quickly. They lose ramp control, and they're actually not sure if HONORIS are walking their way down to that B site as of yet. Doesn't seem as though that's the case. Holding for the response to the CT side, they'll try to rush them down, and so does Nico. Will eventually actually lose one of their lives in holding that position, and M4 can be recovered, but they want this all. They want to get this out of Nico's hands, and they'll succeed in doing so. Prism gets his hands onto it. This could be a very expensive one at the very minimum here from Singularity.
Stomp, you know he wants to get aggressive with that, though. Normally you think, hey, you know what, maybe I can just throw this away. But no, Stomp demands for it. And why wouldn't he? He's had a very good game. He's had a few rounds where, sure, he hasn't performed the best, but very capable of the AWP, that is for certain. Speaking around the corners. Waiting for Castle to potentially move into his crosshair, but with 30 seconds on the clock, that isn't going to happen. Castle is not going to give away a free kill for no reason. And there they go. Over towards the upper bomb site. Stomp, not having a flashbang, not having a smoke, no utility. This is all going to be about blind firepower. And can they find it? Can they find their site? Prism scouted, Prism's down, the bomb with him, and Stomp will be the final one to fall. 13-7, Singularity are showing signs of life, but we're going to need to see a little bit more before we're ready to write them back into this.
Yeah, did they actually save the AWP from Stomp? Did it fall down?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh, they did actually. No, Remoy spent 5,650, so no.
Yeah. Thought maybe that would have been a nice silver lining as well. The fact that they lose out on that, the big investment that does leave the banks of Singularity a little bit strained, especially as they're trying to get this comeback underway. HONORIS, however, they buy right back into things, and oh my god, the aggression on in, but they lose the numbers in doing so. Nico as well, the lobby crunch is definitely what they had planned out for the round, but Nico is all that's left. The sole survivor of an aggressive orientation from that CT side, and well, now it's just about operating around it. They know where he was located on A. Prism looks to lock him into that position such that he cannot reposition. But Neo, yeah, he took the high ground. He went through hell, takes him down from the heavens, and HONORIS. It's a pretty fast and cataclysmic round because now Singularity, they've run out of cash, and HONORIS are within touching distance of closing out the first map.
Again, we see some misutility as well. Singularity's nades did not fly through where they were supposed to. Otherwise, maybe they would have deterred the vision enough for HONORIS not to get the kills. Regardless, I don't think that round would have gone their way because HONORIS was expecting that early play. Their default definitely indicated it at least, and they're able to catch them off, take them down. And although Nikodos was good for one, finds out the hard way that you can actually get wallbang down through the concrete.
You have to give props as well to Singularity to make a call like that. It can be very, very hard when you're down to try and push the initiative and just pull the momentum away from HONORIS, give them less control over the match in general. So an admirable effort at the very least, but better conceptualized than actually performed. While HONORIS want to put this nail in the coffin, finally get a round in which they at least secure the overtime. They make sure that Singularity have a rough go of things. They need to get 8 in a row from then on out.
Fancy way to smoke secret off.
Yeah, actually, thinking about it, probably haven't seen that lineup too often.
Castle with a CZ, looking to swing out, but it's Prism to win the duel, and it will be Remoy to change the tide just a little bit. Not too much, just a bit. Remoy is just reminding us he's always going to get one kill.
Yeah. That's his main objective, it seems. One around. Ooh. I thought Salt was going to be faster to trigger there, but Nico a little bit quicker. He gets his hands on the AWP. Could he escape? Yeah. It seems like he's going to be able to get out of there, but that's about all that they can take away from this round. Not going to be going for the retake. It's going to be a bitter pill to swallow, but HONORIS will get themselves to 15.
HONORIS on the verge of taking away Singularity's map pick. The one after this is Inferno, and we were already worried about Singularity because of the stand-in. Now I'm more worried because of how the vetoes turned out. Taz as well, slowly swinging out. Tobis didn't have much to save in the first place, but when your next round buy is going to be centered around $2,000, you very quickly find out that Beagles are actually quite nice to take forward.
And the armor.
I don't think he had armor.
Oh.
I might be wrong though. I very often am.
He seemed like he's a little too poor this round to not have invested in something. But either way, the buy is very similar to the round that we just witnessed. So maybe things go slightly differently. Maybe the AWP of Nico is able to find a bit more impact as well now that they've been able to recover that. Stomp taking up the angle and door. Yeah, first peek there, and Nico peeks into him as well. Tried to challenge the AWP head on and instead catches the bullet.
Yeah. It's a rough life. That's what it is. 3v5. Remoy does recover the op. At least Tobe is good to take down Reiko and reloads the CZ. I've seen a bit of a resurgence in that, actually. Quite popular, and you can see why. You can be a little bit more mobile and legal with it, and you're right. He had the bomb. Remoy, his angle's about to be scouted out. Neo can come in from the side. The question is, what can Tobis do? Because Remoy has already done his job. He finds Neo and takes him down. A 2 versus 2, which is suddenly very possible. Storm hoping for a flashbang, but he doesn't have enough teammates to request for one. Doesn't check the angle properly, and it leaves it onto Prism. He should be able to get this kill, and indeed he does. It's a 1v1. And with 40 seconds left on the clock, Remoy's AWP could be a hindrance, so you can expect to see him switch out for the AK.
Smoke down, bomb planted. Remoy, like you said, taking an AK instead to make things a little bit easier now on this retake. Of course, information given up to Prism. That dropping through the vents could certainly give up the game. Prism, how does he stand his ground here? The smoke's now beginning to fade, so he's losing a lot of the cover that he thought he once had. The Molotov in from Prism, Remoy, and while Prism, he'll shut him down as he emerges from the door. Easy shots to hit, and well, HONORIS, they close out the game 16-7, taking Singularity's map pick, like you said.
I think it was over the second we saw partners at Loop, let's say it's 1-11. So, real talk though, unfortunately, Singularity, I want this to be on the record. This was not a team that lost because they had a coach. They might have still lost because of the coach standing in. This was a team that was fragmented and had a lot of things going wrong. The things that were going right, though, were Remoy, who is still somehow getting kills no matter what happens. I don't know, I think he ended up on like 24 or 25 kills towards the very end of it, which is insane. And we actually conveniently have that coming up. It's 21, but still, on the side of HONORIS, though, a lot of very impressive sides. Stomp, in particular, had a very good game.
Yeah, Taz as well, right? We were sort of saying that he's going for crazier plays than we're used to him seeing. Or used to seeing from him in particular, but he was executing those plays very, very well. And to kind of echo your sentiment, I'm in full agreement. I think coach or not, Singularity would have likely lost out that map had they sort of played with that same level of disjointedness, because it seemed like they were lacking direction or sort of a decisiveness as to what to do in rounds. And so often they're grinding off the clock without taking too much map control that, well, the other team in HONORIS were happy to give up quite often. The fact that the smokes didn't make things as difficult as they usually do when you're going for outside executes or A-side executes.
And the few rounds that they were able to get success in earlier on were based off of secret rushes. And then they didn't really go for that again, because in one round they got naded down and tagged down fairly heavily. All across the board, I'm not impressed, unfortunately, by Singularity's nuke. And that's heartbreaking to me, because a few weeks ago when I saw them in their previous lineup, I thought that was a very impressive nuke. So I'm curious to see how they adjust, how they bounce back. Next map coming up is Inferno. It's a similar map in some regards, in the sense it's very utility reliant. So I really hope that we see something extra coming out from them. It is a map that's generally much more played, and it's generally much more played on an individual level too, though. So you should expect to see a closer game. However, it is HONORIS' map pick, and the question is, can they close it out in 2? And well, you'll have to wait to see whether or not they can. We'll be back in just a bit with more Malta Vibes action. Dun 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 dun. I don't know why I felt the
The dramatic
the,
flair.
the dramatic flair. But we're back with Malta Vibes, brought to you by Gaming Malta, home of gaming excellence, and also some dramatic flair. Hopefully, but hey, I mean, it's a cool place. It is. We have a pretty cool match though on our hands. It's Honors versus Singularity. So far, it's been very one-sided in the favor of Honors, and that was on Singularity's own map pick. Now we're heading into Inferno, which, although picked by Honors, might be a slightly more put together affair. Overall, Singularity, like we mentioned, looked a little bit weak at times in terms of everyone being on the same page. So Inferno, a slightly easier map in that, I would go ahead and say, not because of how the map is, just because everyone plays it so damn much.
Yeah, I mean, so far on the B stream, today has been a day of one-sided games, and hopefully that all changes now with Inferno. Singularity been on the receiving end of a couple of brutalities, and I mean, we talked a lot about how we expect Honoris to be this sort of better team or more well-rounded team at the least. When we sort of think of Inferno, I will always remember times on teams that Stomp used to be on, as Akabors and Illuminar, where it was just such a dominant force that I'm concerned. I think that's about as far as I'm willing to say. I'm concerned for Singularity, given the form we see them in, at least today.
I am. I'm gonna agree with you there. If I'm honest, what I'm waiting for is, first of all, my chance to go to Malta, because that place looks really beautiful. But the second thing that I'm waiting for is the odds from our partner, the Loopet. And I know this sounds like I'm shilling, but I'm really excited to see what they're going to be. And honestly, I'm ready to production. Is it possible to get those earlier, like before the game starts as well? Because I'm really curious to see how it goes. Because anyone who's wondering, the last map that Singularity played was the first time on Vertigo, rather, against Aves, was the first time I've ever in my entire life seen odds of 1 to 10. And then I saw odds of 1 to 11 in their match against Honors on Nuke. So, I'm just wondering where they were going with this.
Yeah, I think it was a bit worse. It was like 1.06 in the first map, right, to 10. And then I think it was 1.01. Yeah, 1.01 or 1.02 to 12, which is like, it's mind-boggling, because by and large, when we've seen the odds from our partners, it's been pretty close. It's like, maybe it's the start of the map, 1.87, 2 point something, about those, and then all of a sudden it's just nope, Loopet don't even say you have a chance. And I can understand the argument, but I'd like to give a little bit more, love to the other side a little bit. There's always the benefit of the doubt.
My other question is, like, how do you decide, what once one of the teams is down to 1, like, how do you keep pushing the other one even further away? Like, oh, you're on 12 now, 13, 14, 15, like, what's next? Like, it gets to drinking age.
The thing is, like, I'm not so envious of the Loopback guy, but I feel like he's having a blast right now, because he's gotten them all right so far. So
he has. It's true. What we want, though, other than jokes aside about the odds, what we want is Singularity to come through and show us a completely different self, though. Because one thing is there, you have one piece you can work around. Remoy in both maps that we've seen from them today, even though both were crazy stomps, and we can be jumping into the knife round for Inferno, but even though both were realistically crazy stomps against them, Remoy has been solid. He gets more than a kill per round on average. He ended the previous game with 21 kills, although they were down, I think, 16-7 in the end. He ended Vertigo with something ridiculous like 22 when they lost 16-4. So you have one player showing up. You just need one more. Realistically, on Inferno, you really just need one more to have a chance. So hopefully we can have Accelerate, Nikodos really, bringing the A game, really, getting ready to buff up those carry muscles and see what they can do.
Yeah, and I think Accelerate has been kind of the closest one to that, right? He's pretty close behind Remoy in a load of the statistics we've seen from today, but he's very sporadic, right? Like, he'll have a round where he gets 3 kills, or he'll get a round where he gets 4, but not sort of consistent. And while the odds are certainly in favor of Honoris, there's a bit more credit being given to Singularity, a bit more benefit of the doubt, it seems.
I mean, in all fairness, our partners at a little bit have said that Singularity would, they've given a lot of space early on in the game. It's halftime where you start to go crazy. But Neo with a USB swinging out wide does get information that there is no contest on Banana, so you could expect to see some rotations coming back here. HONORIS playing very defensively on this A side with 2 players will very soon be met by a couple of T side faces that they're probably not too happy to see.
Well, they've got comfortable positions at the very least over at B, but like you said, Singularity are very close towards crunching this A bomb site, and by and large haven't been cleared, haven't been checked out. Taz now rotating in, may be able to pick up one of the holes here on the defense, but Tobid's now moving forward, trying to get that entry. Taz, oh, he's just found the timing. He's just sorted them out, and even though he's caught with a nade out, he's able to adjust in time. 1 kill for him. Prism able to get 1 as well, but they still lose the bomb site. An equal exchange of affairs. The Singularity, they can get this bomb planted, and the kit, it needs to be recovered as well.
It is dropped fairly close by at the very least, so that shouldn't be an issue. Reiko on the sidelines, though, needs to be careful. Nico won't be able to scout him out, but Reiko also can't swing for Tobiz unless that comes in. And as I say that, Tobiz is the one who's swinging out for him, and Reiko's been gifted the kill. Nico! Oh, man. Neo just finishes that one off. A great nade as well coming out towards the pit flare, and it's a very well done retake. No kit needed.
Yeah, the utility usage from the HONORIS players, both in Neo and Taz, was very well placed. The flashes into the site made things easy for Reiko, and like you said, the touchdown from Neo as well. The veterans coming in with some solid utility usage for HONORIS to pull that one back, and that actually could have been a round that Taz kind of shuts down single-handedly had he not been called or asked to sort of flash over towards short.
Unfortunately, those little timings are what we love and hate about the game, depending on whose side you're on. Again, 3 players early towards the B-bomb side, nothing too surprising over there, but Singularity are expecting a slew of utility to be thrown over, and they are right to do so. The question is, can they try and exploit this A-side defense as it is slightly weaker earlier on? 3 AKs are in their hands. They're very capable of taking this round away.
Yeah, it's the classic get the bomb down, get a better buy from that T side. Neo around the smoke. He looked for a bit of information, maybe an early advantage, but that's the fallback. That smoke does not last forever. And while Singularity will retake that position through a Molotov, try and flush out these close angles, make sure the HONORIS aren't up to anything tricksy. Now they can put a bit more emphasis, a bit more presence over towards Banana. Neo forced back, and while they'll play towards the site instead. There's been a lot of time ground off the clock, from Singularity, where they haven't gotten the most map control. Banana is all they've got.
Yep. Oh, watch out for Reiko over here, because although he's very low, Neo will be trying to distract for him to peek out, and he is in a great spot. He's not good for any kills, though. Remoy, the man we highlighted as being the rock you can try and base your foundations on, coming alive. Stomp, missing a few shots on the MP9. That could have changed things and made this retake a lot more doable, but now is just going to be trying to back off. Or is he?
Yeah, the smoke seems to indicate he values his life a little bit. And,
that's nice.
Stray bullets. I thought maybe in spite of the utility, he might have still been taken down. But yeah, they're able to save. It's quite nice. He's putting some stock in himself. It's all about that self-confidence.
Can you kill a chicken with a Zeus?
I would assume so, but I also don't know.
Yeah. I'm just wondering what sound a chicken would make if you kill it with a Zeus.
Well, considering
I'm asking the right questions today.
You are. Considering it explodes when you shoot or you knife it, I assume it'll make. I don't know how to
make
answer
the
this
Zeus
one.
chicken sound or the normal chicken sound. That's the question. Is it the or the you know? HONORIS still pulling out a lot of MP9s, hoping to go more or less more like Stomp with the scout flashed out of his position, peeks out, and he is making me go, oh my, oh my, oh my. And that's the kind of sounds I want to make when I'm casting a game.
Oh, I hated that whole segment, but what a shot from Stomp. Chicken noises, we get tea time noises too. And while there'll be noise made by Singularity over towards B, Honoris are still with a man advantage, and with the bomb not really being convened at either location either. Singularity just looking for some of the Honoris players to get a little bit over angsty, maybe a little bit over aggressive, which doesn't seem to be the case. Still playing back towards these bomb sites. Smoke deployed, nice and timely from Neo. Is he actually going to rotate off the back of it? It's usually a swap with the Arch player who will have another smoke so that they can delay a bit longer, but the player that's in that position is Stomp, and he doesn't have a smoke either, so he's thought better of it. He's realized that his rotationary player doesn't have the utility he thought, and while they'll push on through on the side of Singularity, they have to go through a smoke, and Reiko just has a field day, mowing them down as they emerge. The bomb dropped an exposed open CT as well. This is dangerous stuff. Stomp has the sightline as well with the scout, the tag, the 1-2 punch with Taz. It can be all that Honoris are hoping for, and while Celerate back up against the wall, no real chance. Honoris shut down the B push, and no smoke towards CT. That's a dangerous game to play.
Indeed, it's slightly more dangerous when Remo gets flashed by his own teammate, unfortunately. Especially when you consider he is the player who's, you know, like we said before, he is the one who you're expecting to frag today. He's having a very hot hand today, but unfortunately, Nico does his flashbang catches him out, some miscommunication coming out, and as a result of that, they're just not able to capitalize. They were already pressed into a corner, like you said, but it gets even harder, and Taupe is, well, being tagged up early on is not going to help, especially when you see nades coming your way.
Well, after so many times over towards Banana, they'll now look to take a bit more middle control. Smoking towards the Archers. This is a nice some information, but they've lost a bit of sight towards lane as well. The shelter is covered, Arch is covered. They get brackets control, but they won't actually be able to hold onto that position given how aggressive Honor seem to be behind these smokes. They've got the fourth player over towards that side of the map as well, so not the most amount of space gained here from Singularity, and again, taking a lot of time off the clock. A minute left. Prism able to get 2 with the MP9. Fortunately for Singularity, they've got 2 right back in the AKs, but Taz, he doesn't get cleared initially. The knife out by Nico, but a trade back. Now they have to fall back and hopefully they can overwhelm Neo, but he's being tricksy and usual. But Celerate, such a fast reaction. 3 kills so far in the round. It's on to Raiko now to pull it back for Honoris.
Neo just felt too pressured to make a play before he himself is shut down. And Reiko, he's been very good from this angle before. Swings out, and again, Remo will feel his wrath. Reiko, though, is expecting perhaps a player to be in Neo's old spot, but instead a flashbang to fly through. It will not blind Celerate. He's trying to play the angle, but Celerate's got himself the good old side weapon. Pulling it out, getting himself his 4th kill, like you said before. Celerate is the other player who you expect. He's streaky. When his streaks are on, they get 4 kills, which is exactly what happens here.
Yeah, in every map we've seen Singularity today, Celerate has kind of won a round by himself, although he fell short on Vertigo in the first map of the day. That's no real fault of his own. So that streaky performance, able to knock Honoris down a peg, make their economy in a bit of a tattered situation. They've got 3 rifles, a couple of pistols surrounding it, but crucially, they've got the smokes. They've been able to delay time and time again thus far in the map.
Oh, nade flies in. Doesn't really do any damage, unfortunately. But, whoa. Okay.
Okay.
I didn't realize he was visible there, but maybe just a random spam, I guess. It isn't the worst place in the world to spam out, but hey, there is that. Now smoke goes out, they're making sure that Pit is not going to be a problem in case there is a player there. But Singularity is slowing things down a lot, Yumi, because they're expecting a play to come out from the CT side. They're waiting for a flash peek, they're waiting for something or the other, but at the end of it all, they'll decide to go for the good old mouseboard smokes and start trying to go into the side itself. There goes a nade. It's found a kill on a Prism inside the pit, and Tobe is clearing out the site. Means Taz is the only person in the back lines, and although he had a chance to stab a couple of them nicely with the CZ, he's only good for 1.
Yeah, and Reiko suffering from the spam from earlier on. Not really much of a chance. He had the rifle support, but that's found its way into Remoy's hands, and he's going to be the one containing him towards the B bomb site. No real reason to hunt this player down, but certainly you can certainly understand Singularity player getting a little bit, investigative, just kind of exploring his options, making sure that the armor and the pistol aren't a factor in the follow-up. But yeah, the Singularity team need to they need to get their money under wraps. So even with the devil on his shoulder, whispering eco frags, he makes the right choice.
Hey man, I'm saying it for their confidence. Okay, that's what I'm going with. Salaright, though, should be feeling pretty confident. 6-2 right now, doing really well now that he has started going. But remember, you got to keep that train going. Rico with the saved Alma and the 5-7. This is a strange thing for me to say. I want to see Rico just save again immediately. You have very bad money on the CT side to the point where, honestly, if these guys went for a half buy over here and then they just double ecoed, I would have also been fine with that. But
just saving the armor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll miss out on crucial utility into the follow-up round. Certainly see the argument. I don't think he's going to get much of a choice. Remoy, first entry into Neo, and Reiko has no chance to really escape this side. He has to hold his own, see if he can lock this position down. First kill on Tobis is good, and follow-up damage on Remoy. Stomp's able to finish him off. So even trades over towards B, even with it just being primarily USPs, this is certainly dangerous for Singularity, especially with these smokes now beginning to fade. This could be a bit of an issue.
Well, that's one way to sort things out. An aid through the smoke is always nice. Stomp goes down. He had, of course, revealed his position earlier on with the USP spam. At this point, Taz and Prism would just like to get $300 more. And Taz had a chance, but can't really capitalize. Prism, neither can he. Fourth round on the board for Singularity, and this is where we see HONORIS pressed for cash and pressed for utility. No AWP possible either. And like I said in the pregame, I want Stomp on an op.
Yep. We've already seen what he can do with the scout. Let the man upgrade. I'll see if they're able to play around it. I mean, they're missing out on some crucial utility, like you're sort of mentioning. Like, they have no flashes on Neo and Raiko, who are the B-site defenders, so no real opportunities to retake banana control late into the round, only really able to use the utility to delay. So that takes a lot of the options away from HONORIS. It puts a lot more emphasis on Singularity to dictate the pace and take control, and for HONORIS to try and react or try and slide in where Singularity may not expect.
At this point, I really want to see some sort of a weird play through a smoke. The problem is, like you said, flashes are very thin on this team, on the CT side. Singularity, though, they've got plenty of utility to be able to go for the quick old site hit. 4 players on the site, though, makes it very tricky. They have tried to cheat these players over. Stomp, he'll find himself isolated soon. The flashbang not there yet. He gets the first duel, tries to keep the spray going, but there's no one behind, and he will be able to back off to safety. Celebrate, trying desperately to find anything, but with 50 seconds on the clock, and the CTs willing to rotate their players over and stay on this A site, not even backing off. This gets very touchy.
Spotted the player falling back. Instead, it's just a bit more presence over towards short. Prism, he's going to be the front, the crucial man to watch from the first player found. The second, not quite able to get the spray adjustment going. Castle with the double entry. In fact, Reiko, though, he goes uncleared. He's able to get 2 himself, and although he's taken down by Castle, he survived on so little HP that it's easy enough for Stomp to find the trade. A third round for HONORIS, and a lot of time bought over towards B, or over towards the A-bomb site, rather, and off the back of a crucial stack from HONORIS.
Speaking of buying things, it's not time, but Hellcase lets you buy cases, which is quite nice. They're our partner. They're the biggest and most known case opening website with almost 100 cases, updated case battle, upgrader, dozens of giveaways per month, and more absolutely unique features. If you won't get bored with Hellcase, use promo codes to save more and grab what you can. Yo.
Faster play towards B. They're meeting them head on. Prism, the nade kill to finish off Remoy. That's a crucial man to find, considering he's been a consistent performer throughout the series and the day, really, for Singularity.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You'll have to see it from the CT side. They were a little bit low on economy, so utility wasn't the greatest in the world for them. Instead of dilly-dallying and trying to go for the same play they did in the previous round with a cheat stack, they decide, you know what? Let's just pop 3 players on B, get our early kill. A couple of nades will help out, and there you have it. One thing to quickly note, I'm pretty sure I won't have time for it though, so I'll note it later on. And Flashman comes out, fully blind on the T side as well. Reiko waiting to get anything, but he's not given a chance yet. They do walk into him, and it's a lineup. He's got 3.
Oh my goodness, he shuts them out. Nico, all that's left, but he's got something to say himself. The quick 180 as well from him on the AWP, and suddenly this becomes so much more feasible for Singularity. I was ready to count them out after the efforts of Reiko. Nico, how does he play this? Does he read the positions correctly? Because he seems to have an inkling at CT spawn, but he's still uncertain. Nobody peeking him on the taps.
Now that he's shocked out, oh no, someone's got to be peeking him at this point. The M4A1, is they going to? No, it's not. They're just playing this very safe. They're playing this for the retake. Flashbang will go through, won't be catching out Nico himself. Nico's trying to reposition, but I think he would have been heard going for that second step. He definitely saw the CT player though, and the CT player did see him as well. Finds a first, and this time it's now suddenly possible. Nico does, looking to finish this one out with 4 kills. He does know where the final player is, but Taz prevents that from happening. Heartbreaking for him.
It should have been on.
Yeah.
A little bit of movement just as the shot goes off.
With this lineup, man.
Yeah. That should have been it. That should have been the round 1, just from that play alone. But then this performance from Nico.
Crazy second shot. Yeah. The problem, okay, so there's 2 things that went wrong though there. Thank you. That third shot from Nico was also quite nice. There were 2 problems that actually came through. Number 1 is the most subtle one. Neo has an M4A1S. With that one-way smoke, it's almost impossible to know where you're getting sprayed from immediately unless you're ready for that, because the M4A1S tracers don't show. So the nade is so much more powerful from Prism, because generally you'd expect players to get out of into a position where they're not going to get naded down. The M4A1S allows them to get that kill. Second problem, they flash their own players again while they're going up into Banana. So it's so much confusion that, yes, they're not flashed when they should be checking second oranges, but it is really, really rough, and you can kind of understand it on each side.
And those are the issues that have been plaguing Singularity really for the date thus far, right? So still yet to see a dramatic shift in what Singularity have to offer, but they're making this a closer affair for sure. Thought Inferno might be a bit more one-sided, but they've been able to limit how often Stomp can get his hands in the AWP. They've kept the economy of the CTs pretty marginal. Not that great.
This time, though, they found so much ground towards A site. Yumi. Flashbang comes in. Do they realize it is close already? It's 28 seconds, and Taz's position is perfect. Prism is there as well, just to help him out. They're not even going to lose the player, and it's a 5 versus 2. Raymar reveals his position. He's trying to get a quick kill, but he won't be able to. And with that, it seems like it's really unlikely that he even gets 1. And Taz finishes things off really well with 3 kills. That's just perfectly played round from HONORIS. On 28 seconds left, Taz's position is just really good.
Well, another round where there's seemingly a spacing issue from Singularity. Another round in which they line up for an uncleared angle is certainly not ideal, especially considering this is a map they must win to keep themselves in this group. It can't happen back to back, is all I'm saying. Taz getting a lineup, Reiko getting a lineup. It's a bit silly. Either way, the buy is non-existent from Singularity, so they rush towards Banana. It's not a great effort, but it's a quick round that actually nets them a frag. So, you know, by and large, one of the objectives accomplished, do a little bit of damage, but the money from the CT side is looking good. This
is the spot where HONORIS is Honoris is going to potentially start running away with it. You've got your double op now on Inferno, and although they're not the double op team that you generally expect, you can definitely get some picks out on Banana or something on those lines. So let's see where that comes in, but Stomp is down and you're back to just the one. They were finding so much success in passivity when you've just got 2 players on this A side. They try to change things up, and you can't blame them for that, but a shot missed, and that's all she wrote.
And now it's the secondary Opera that needs to show us what he's made of. Very few times we've seen Neo with this in hand, and well, okay, doesn't even have to rattle off the shot. He's dead to the Molotov instead.
The ultimate secondary Opera, one would say.
Using his brain instead of just his aim. And well, the push-in from Singularity, they're trying to get space right back. Taz, a missed spray. Prism lost as well. Neo was close enough to contest, so was Reiko, but they're tapping out. A 2 versus 4 is not feasible.
Well, a rough day for Singularity, but Inferno is so far looking a little bit more promising. Mistakes have been made, yes, but holes have also been poked in the defense of Honoris, and this was one of those rounds, like you said. You had to see what that secondary up was made of, and Neo, you know what? He's playing like a primary operator. He knows what you're supposed to do. Save the weapon.
Well, he doesn't even have to really fire off the AWP, right? So, some would say that's the most efficient type of offer.
I agree.
So my question is, do they reinvest into it? Stomp getting taken down so early. It seemed like he went for that play because they got... Yeah, they actually do.
I don't really know if I like this, to be honest, because Neo's been very effective so far with his rifle, and there hasn't been that burning need to have 2 offs on either side, because Singularity has not typically been going for fast-paced play. This was the first time they've actually gone for that, and even there, they slowed things down so much when you're actually going in towards the site. Singularity has largely been focusing on getting brackets control. So, double offs aren't really the best when that's been going on. This time it is more of a default style, though, so the double up could actually give them quite a bit in this case. Let's wait and see, though. Molotov's coming out. This looks to be a bit of a fake. The bomb's all the way over towards the A site, but they'll have realized this pretty soon. Molotov towards apartments will keep them at bay, and back to 4 players on the A bomb site from Singularity.
I wonder if Singularity would know that solo A or solo B player is the case, considering the utility used by Neo, but they don't even get the chance to explore it. Has the first kill in. This is a position he got a double kill previously, but they still don't flush him out. And while the apartment's pressure, it doesn't work out in their favor. The bomb dropped right at Prism's feet. While one will escape the apartments, they need to now recover that. 50 seconds left. The rotation's coming in from that CT side as well, and the Molotov is timed, but Topaz answers back with 2. It makes this so much more contestable.
The problem is their HP, but that problem's nothing when you've got an Ob. Nikodos takes down Taz, and Reiko and Prism, but Prism's good for a flick, can't get the second one. Topaz, very low, he took a lot of utility damage earlier, but he's found 3 kills nonetheless. Can he find the final one? Yes, he can! 6-6! And you've got Singularity doing really well.
And Topaz has been quiet for most of today. He's, in certain instances, fallen behind the stand-in player for the Singularity team, but by and large, I mean, you can't fault him for that particular round. He does everything he needs to, gets a double to bring things closer, and then clutches things back just when things were looking the most dire. And Honoris, they're out of cash, so it has to be a save call and an opportunity for Singularity to get themselves into the lead.
Oh.
I will just touch on the double up from Honoris. I think the reason they're going for it is because they don't want to have to rotate Stomp about the map just to get a bit more control of places like Banana. So they want Neo to kind of anchor that site. They can have that sort of 1 to 4 setup on B and A respectively. But I do agree. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I am becoming a bigger fan of Rimoy, who's consistently been able to find frags for the Singularity team, and he gets the double entry to start off this round. The bomb still needs to be recovered on the Singularity side, but with Castle locking things down over at A as well, it doesn't seem like there'll be too many issues.
That's an interesting theory, actually. I didn't think about it that way. But See, my problem is overall, at the end of the day, if you have an upper who is your star player, the double up is inherently a hindrance to him for two reasons. One, obviously your economy is kind of getting wrecked whenever you buy a double up and lose. Even if you don't lose, your economy can be wrecked. But secondly, it's also just the limitations on him on where he can go. And it's not like Neo wasn't doing a perfectly fine job of anchoring the B side regardless. So that's really where I largely fall on. But I think what you're saying definitely has some merit. It's definitely an interesting thing to think about. Maybe Stomp just, maybe they just don't want Stomp to be doing all the rotation, all the killing. But, in all fairness, that isn't entirely what's been happening. Taz and Reiko have both been topping these charts. Stomp's actually not having that great of a map, which could also be the second reason why they want another up.
Just like stick to what you're comfortable with. It's kind of like we sort of had that revelation with Slacks on alternate attacks when he was having a quiet series where he's just, stay on one side of the map, just lock that side down, and then we'll figure everything else out.
Pretty much. Molotovs and nades all flying through. Oh! Nikodos actually rebounded that nade off of him and backed off, otherwise they would have been duped. That's like swatting a nade away.
I refuse to take the damage.
You shall not pass. Neo scopes out, nicely done. This is the first time they're actually walking into his crosshair, and he's not being forced to rotate into the action. It's good on him to be able to find the opening frag. He's trying to find some more damage through the wall. That's not going to end up well for you.
And you see the rotation from Prism away. As soon as they get that first kill over towards B, that sort of initial objective accomplished for HONORIS. They just want to find an early advantage, fall back into the sites, and play a bit more traditional. And that's exactly what they accomplish. Prism still holds a smoke as well over at A, but both B site players have no real utility to defend. Has to be shots being hit by Neo primarily, and well, Nico, he out-ops him to start.
They've still got to get past Reiko, who's been having one hell of a game, though. Reiko's waiting to swing out. Is there going to be a flashbang to help him out? There is one, but it's actually from the T side. Are they checking this angle? Not yet. He's got himself two. Could it be three? No. Nico still here, still alive, still kicking, but Stomp is kicking them out of his server. Leaves it in a 2v1 before he leaves it behind. But Accelerate, planting the bomb. 1v2 is not going to be an easy job.
Oh, fully flashed up as well, so he can't reposition. Well, one smoke available, but the double peek on through. HONORIS get that one right back. A great rotation from Stomp, a great shutdown as well from Reiko. He only actually found one frag. Stomp kind of stole one away from him, but he was going to cause a lot of issues for Singularity regardless, given that position. No Molotov thrown by the T side, no real utility to flush him out. They do a great job of holding on to and retaking that site eventually.
This is much closer than what we expected. Singularity, despite a few small mistakes here and there, have put up a show, but HONORIS at the same time, those small mistakes are coming in. That's the second time Rico's got on a multi-kill because of an unchecked angle, because of some chaos, because Singularity just has their own teammates being flashed on the B side. Good nade down mid, but this time they've even been forced forward. Stomp knew that would be forced to happen because they're peeking into him again and again. This is not working out for Singularity at this point, Yumi.
Yeah, and Stomp is beginning to heat up as well on the HONORIS side, just as we're convening on the halfway point. Does that translate to the T side? That still has yet to be seen, but he is having a bit more impact now that things are going his way. He's hitting the shots he needs to. Neo going to be missing the first, but a quick repeat. Remore is down. No quick trade available from Singularity, and all those flashes seems to indicate that, well, the rest of the team is there as well. No rotation still coming in from HONORIS. They're respecting that it could be a fake, just the one player there, but Reiko, he finds one. Nico, all that's left. A 1 versus 5, and nade lands at his feet, and well, he's met by the AWP of Neo. 8-7, a much closer affair here on our second map.
I have to say, Singularity looked like they should have gotten more rounds. This, in all seriousness, should have been a 6-9, but There were at least 2 rounds where Singularity ended up flashing themselves a few too many times on the B side, and the chaos that ensued just meant that Reiko was able to get free kills. There were 2 rounds where he literally got a 3K, or maybe it was a 2K in one of them, but multi-kills. Just because they ended up flashing themselves and being kind of willy-nilly about checking angles because of that.
And it wasn't just the B bomb site, right? Reiko was doing that on B, but Taz was getting double kills galore over at A as well, right? So just seeming to have trading and spacing issues. And while the score is a lot closer, our partners over at Lootbet still have that same sort of prediction coming into the second half.
All right, they're sticking to their guns. Remoy is sticking to his in the meanwhile. He's the big man, and he's come out on top in the first duel. Tobis will be able to trade his life away, and Accelerate is ready to high-five Rico out of existence. Nico does. Forces into this corner, fighting away, and Tobis and himself will clean things out. Almost a flawless pistol round from Singularity.
Good stuff to start off their CT side. Pushing the initiative, getting the initial frags, and just consistently fighting for that control over towards B. I was a bit confused why it seemed like, was it Accelerate caught a player off guard in towards the arches? He's kind of turning around, watching his own back because there's nobody else with him, but either way, the small mistakes capitalized on by Singularity, and while it's just the blocks to rush down Banana, and Remoy just has a field day. The Molotov, the FAMAS, it's all that's necessary, and he'll get out with his life. 3 kills, he's more than happy with that. Castle can now speed things up with the SMG, or at least he should. And well, Remoy actually even backs him up. Steals one away. 4 kills for him.
I do quite enjoy how Remoy gets himself 3 eco frags and Castle saying, "Get out of the way, I've got the MP9."
Yeah, they should have really swapped if he was going to be as aggressive as that. Farm some cash, man.
Still, 1 kill is not too bad. Unfortunately, when you've got 3 MP9s against a full T-side buy, it does look a little bit dire. They do have... Actually, they don't even have a buy in the next round unless they get a few kills over here and save some weapons. So, expect to see some very conservative plays potentially coming out.
Hey, man, Stomp doesn't have armor. A jumping MP9 is very, very scary for him.
That's true, actually. Any sort of an MP9. Not even a jumping MP9, just a standing still MP9.
Still a lot of map control gained here from HONORIS to start things off. They do expend quite a bit of utility to get themselves in this position, but Stomp now holds the angle with the AWP. No scope sound early, so that no early indicators for the side, and while Remoy will hear the shots rattled, they do know that HONORIS aren't knocking at the door.
Castle, you know, he's thinking about running through with that MP9. I don't think they realize that Neo's already bossing inside pool, though. That's going to be a problem. Will Remoy be checking this? He needs to do so quickly, but he finds Reiko instead. He's going for the reload. And Neo will take a load off of his chest as he will take his life away. No smokes to block out CT and coffins, but this is important position for Neo to come in and capitalize. They find the simultaneous kills, and Neo, well, he was able to get himself the second.
Yeah, and even that lurking pressure from Prism. That player is going in to save. He wants to get out of there. Nico surviving on 1 HP so far. It should be an easy enough duel for Prism. And sure enough, it is an equalizing round for HONORIS. And it's all very pick-based. It's all very dependent on the fact that Singularity don't have the best guns to fight them head-on. And like you were kind of mentioning, the money is not the best for the CT side, but they're still going to invest into it. Nico with the AWP, they're losing out on armor on Tobis. He has an MP9 and no Kevlar whatsoever, so he's maybe mismanaged his own economy slightly. Just like, yeah, you know, I'll give you the AWP. Yeah. Oh wait, I have nothing now.
I've heard of the glass cannon. I've not heard of the glass water cannon. In all fairness, when you're jumping around, I guess, you know, maybe you don't get hit, so MP9 accuracy can be reasonable with that armor. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Well, Seems like they want to fight for banana control on Singularity. Nico's the first point of contact, and they were there to cover the exit. But okay, actually, the flash being lined up from Castle from afar, it's Remor to take the first duel. Nico it's the other way around. I've just completely mixed up the rules there. Either way, the result remains the same. A kill, the fallback, and they can now rotate to be a more standard setup for the CT side.
The 3 players from Singularity on the A site are going to be slightly hard-pressed to prevent Arch's control being taken. Remo is there, but he doesn't have head armor. That doesn't really matter, I guess, against the... I thought there was a Mac 10 for some reason. I don't know why. Like, I guess all the MP9s that we've seen so far. But Tobis, his position's really interesting. He swings out. He's got so much damage. That's all he needed to do. Now his teammate needed to step up, but Celerate has been brought down. Stomp left in the 1v3 as Remo is here to save the day, as he has been so often. Remo, 20 kills and 13 deaths. By far the highest fragger on his team. Single-handedly really carrying them at this point. I mean, Nikodos also sitting on 12 kills, sure, but everyone other than Nikodos is half or less of his kill score.
Yeah, Remo's been Mr. Consistent throughout the whole day, so no real way you can fault him, especially when he's pulling up performances like that. He rotates into the site and finds that much effectiveness when realistically, 1, maybe a trade, 2 if you're lucky, but hell, he gets all 3.
Accelerate. I really like this angle, actually.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got Nikodos actually there to back him up. It's one of my favorite angles there is. It gets you so much information because you'll be able to see players who are actually trying to go over towards the stairs. What's really nice is if you can pair it up with a barrels grenade. So the second you see players, and if you're backing off, just wait 3 seconds and throw a nade out. It'll do so much damage mostly. The B-bomb site is the major point of contention, it seems like. HONORIS have taken quite a while, though, and rotations have moved in. There are 3 players on this site, and with 45 seconds left on the clock, it doesn't look like HONORIS have any indication of turning things around. Remoy with the AWP finds a first. He's good for 1, but the second to take him down. Castles found 1 as well in the meanwhile, and a flashbang to come through might be helping him out significantly. Really nice flash, actually. Even stops him from getting the bomb.
And Raiko and Stomp, they're trapped in a bit of a stickly situation. The behind could be covered by Singularity. They are just going to concede the round, look to save these weapons into the follow-up, and very strange to see this from HONORIS. A very slow approach. They didn't have any sort of presence through middle either, so that early information play that Singularity went for goes a long way. There's no real reason for them to even think about the rotations back. No utility, no presence at all from HONORIS. They just posture up for the B-side execute from basically minute 1, and they're unmoving. They don't even doubt that that's a possibility that Singularity could have stacked another player over. Get so used to seeing this game of sort of cat and mouse.
Yeah.
It's like, here's some information here. Go investigate. But no, none of that. No misdirection at all.
It's like an old Bond movie.
It's like, I've been expecting you, Mr. Oh, you're not even at the site.
All right, then. Other evil there. Nikodos is... Oh, okay, Storm. That's so aggressive. He gets tagged on his legs for it. There are plenty of nades as well, so you can expect him to be very careful. Neo, in the meanwhile, probably should have been a bit more careful for himself. He is taken down. Remoy, again, always the early bird, always getting the worm. Very aggressively so as well.
And well,
no
now,
more utility.
Yeah, I was going to say, where do HONORIS go from here? Because they lose banana control. They can't retake it with Molotovs or anything either. So it has to be some kind of an A play, unless they sort of contact in through B, and Castle's there jump spotting to make sure that that's not an easy possibility. Singularity are in a really good spot for this. They've got the bait and switch set up in pit as well for the A side hit.
Which is incredibly powerful with the MP9, especially because Tobis can actually jump up on top of the pit and then do his best Superman impression, essentially. Smoke's coming out, though. That is the one-way smoke, if I'm not wrong, onto the haystack, which makes it very difficult for this stack to work out at times.
15 seconds.
Yeah, not very much time. Nico Dawes with the AWP taken down already. Stomp and Taz finding crucial kills, but Cellrate's position is perfect.
That's it.
Comes in, 4 kills, literally. Cleans up the entire game.
Oh my god. Every time you think of a bait for me kind of play, this is best case scenario. He gets both, they line up through the smoke for him, he gets the planter as well, so even if he doesn't find those follow-up kills, the round is done. There's no time left for HONORIS to recover.
I don't know, man. I can't believe HONORIS picked this. That's all I can say.
I mean, what a bounce back, though, from Singularity.
Yeah.
Well, they're performing so much better. Aggressive in from Castle. Remoy fully flashed. He's trying to retreat. He gets a second on his retreat. Tobin's there with the Molotov. Taz gets the trade. It is an absolute chaotic battle towards Banana. And while weapons will be recovered in Neo, he has no teammates to speak of. The bomb dropped and exposed from behind. This is more than surely a one round. The spam from Celerate will seal it in.
Singularity are up 13-9. That is an insane thing to me when you consider the fact that they have had a very poor first 2 maps to start the day off, and the mental fortitude they must have to actually recover this is insane.
Yeah, a very different Singularity that we're seeing.
Yes. And even their coach is really performing, and I think so much of it comes down to the same thing that I mentioned before. You kind of just know how to play Inferno.
Oh, Celebrate will get called out by a timing. Nico overstepping as well. Taz gets him and punishes the repeat towards middle. Well, things are certainly looking good for Singularity this half. They can't quite be sleeping just yet. There's still a lot more rounds to be played. A significant man advantage for HONORIS. Now moving into the site. Celebrate pre-fired by Neo. Just turning that corner, and while the A-bomb site, it's theirs. It's a save from Singularity, a very easy one to call.
Yeah, this is actually a situation where I would really want to see the T's try to punish this. And it doesn't look like they want to, but I mean, Castle sitting on $200, Tobis is on 1,600. Yeah, this is not an impenetrable economy. At the same time, 5 players alive on the T side is a bit excessive. So, just chuck 2 of them at a wall. Maybe it works.
Yeah, the economy is far more important for Singularity at this point, right? Than HONORIS.
That's true.
But we have that information. Maybe HONORIS haven't been paying as close attention. They're maybe scrambling a little bit with how Singularity have pulled this one back.
I mean, in general, it's a CT slide. You kind of expect it to be true.
Yeah.
That information came more in a patch note than anything else. Okay,
The
all
odds are
right.
switched.
I see your partners at LootBet. 216 to 162. Singularities in favor after a 5-1 earlier on, I think it was. Pretty nuts stuff. Flashes and smokes all coming up towards Banana. Nothing out of the ordinary, but no contention from HONORIS actually.
It's a lot of damage done to Taz. Eats that nade head on. Well, Nico, a wide angle taken by the AWP, hoping to catch him out just by not being there directly on the corner, and it works. Prism unsuspecting the follow-up player as well as right behind him. Cellrate could get aggressive. Nico seems to be lining up a flash for him. And it seems like that's a retake that they could have been planning, but instead they'll give up control to HONORIS. They have brackets control, but little else on the C side.
Oh dear, that flashbang is suspect. Unfortunately, it could have actually done a lot to allow them to clear out short. And because of that, and because of the fact that Remo has gotten this information that there's still a player here who's gone for the library smoke off, they don't really have the information to rotate a player back towards B, and they don't feel brave enough to cheat that. However, maybe that's a blessing in disguise because there's 30 seconds left on the clock, and HONORIS are doing that thing where they hit the A site with very little time, but this time they've already found Remo down and out.
Yep, the smoke in towards the site. Again, not a whole lot of time for HONORIS to get this underway. These smokes do a whole lot for the CT side. They buy a lot of time, make this crossfire so much more susceptible and dangerous, really, for the CTs to operate around. Celerate, so much damage done. The bomb dropped and exposed. 7 seconds, 6. Yes, the bomb still yet to be recovered, and while the rotations came through, that's it. That's the round. Taz has no chance to pull that one back. And HONORIS, they fall short again. These late executes are really playing into Singularity's hands.
Did Taz get money? Okay, yes, he did. All right. I just wanted to check that. Pause coming out from Singularity. I am kind of in awe at how well Celerate's been playing on that A-bomb site, though. He has continually been changing his positions and finding success in different spots. Now, right behind the default pillar, the default crate, rather, he's able to initially take point, get information on the player on apartments, swings back, spams through the smoke, and he knows that there's going to be a player who's very low on the HONORIS, who will be made low on the HONORIS side because only one player was in apartments. If there's more than one player in apartments, the second they start getting fired at, they start to swing out and they try and trade off a few. He gets damage, and then Neo is actually the first one. I think it was Neo who got damage, but whoever it was, he's the first person who peeks out, and Celerate gets that kill. Because the smoke is still going, that smoke from the HONORIS side worked against them so hard that unfortunately they just can't get it done. They were so afraid of Pit that they gave Sight the perfect smoke to work with.
Yeah, one player behind the smoke is a little bit of an issue, but dealable. But two of them, it's
yeah, that's a spray galore.
Yeah, that's a really, really tough position to clear out. Well, Singularity... Oh, sorry.
I'm just going to get one last thing about that right on it. If the viewers are wondering why that is, it's because one player can't spray. Because you're always worried that you're not going to have enough bullets there. Second player just covers you, man. It's fine.
I hope I've, virtue of some mismanagement of timing, some fighting for map control on the side of HONORIS, Singularity are really, really close. I was prepared to count them out of this series after the first map. Their own map pick goes so astray. Maybe we have the vetoed the wrong way around. Who knows? But Singularity have looked a lot better on Inferno. Consistent performances from a number of their players. And, well, a lot of time grinded off again. And more Molotovs still ready on the Singularity side to deploy. They haven't felt the pressure to deploy these early enough into the rounds. The timely one from Celerate at about the 30-second mark buys a bit more space as well. And they have more in the tank.
Celerate could have revealed his position, so he has to play much more scared. Now they're circling around from Archie. Celerate's already good for one, but not more than that. Neo will get the bomb plant down with 8 seconds left. For some reason, they really like wearing down the clocks. Taz will also take Tobas down. And it will be Castle and Remo to save. Map point not there yet for Singularity. And again, HONORIS, like I said before, guys, come on.
Yeah. I don't know what it is with them and the clock. They don't agree with one another.
You know those people who just go clubbing a lot, and their day realistically starts at 6 p.m. in the evening because that's when they start to get ready to go party.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what it feels like HONORIS is on the seaside. It's like, they like to lay back, chill until it's 45 seconds, and they put their gel on. They're putting on their nicest clothes. They're getting ready to go to the bomb site, and on 10 seconds left, that's when they really hit the deck and start planting the bomb.
The thing is for HONORIS is that we highlight the fact that the time is so low. Had Singularity not gone for a little bit more of a a read-dependent style in that round. They stacked the third player over towards the B bomb site with little utility, kind of expended that direction. Had they stacked or gone with a more traditional setup with the 3 over towards A, that likely ends up another Singularity round because of the fact that there's limited time to clear out all those positions. So while it's a good read from HONORIS, if we can even call it that, it's a gamble stack from Singularity that really doesn't work out in their favor, and they're burning some really poor fuel at the moment. They're running out of cash. Castle, Tobiz, not on the most efficient weapons.
Mm-hmm. And remember, if they lose this, it's not like they have lost bonus, so realistically, that's a very good chance for HONORIS to get back to 14-14, assuming Singularity is unable to save any weapons. And that's a big assumption to make, though.
Well, more of the same from HONORIS. A slow approach. It's like they're expecting Singularity to go for these brazen plays in each of these rounds, and it's just not coming through. Prism's able to get 1 over towards the A-bomb site, but it's quickly traded. But they've caused the rotation. Looking over towards Remor, he's halfway through CT spawn. He's been called right back because they not fully convinced it's an A-site progression, and Neo now is looking to isolate the duel. Castle there with the pistol. He finds 2. The bomb dropped as well. The support from his teammate. Castle's got a 3rd as well, and he may have overwhelmed Stomp, but he runs out of ammo, goes for the knife instead. Stomp able to get the no-scope. He's brought it to a 1-on-2, and both these CTs are very separated. Certainly winnable for Stomp. Oh my goodness, how does he do it? Accelerates on 8 HP as well. Does he know?
I don't think so. He would have run out the pistol if he did. Celebrate is feeling so scared because he's just witnessed all of his teammates get brought down. He's the last warrior left to try and protect what seems to be a dying CT side. Legacy Stomp looks away at the wrong time. Celebrate, if he drops down, he will have his position. No, but Stomp with another no-scope will get it. 4 kills, and every one of them more impressive than the last. That's a replay moment if I've ever seen one, production.
Oh my goodness. I was again, we had a similar round from Nico in their first half as well. I was ready to count Stomp out of this after Castle did so well on the pistol, but Stomp just he had a quiet first half, but he was coming alive towards the tail end of it. And he shows us exactly his proficiencies with the AWP. Taz, though, he wants a piece of the action. A mow down through middle. Could go on for the ace as well. And he may be gifted that opportunity. Castle just around the corner. No, Riker's going to take it. That is rude. With a capital R. Either way, HONORIS are really now in a position where they can tie things up and potentially take the map from underneath Singularity's feet. Because after this bye, there's not much left. HONORIS will get to 15 first if they win this round.
Probably.
Yes, likely.
They are favored too.
Mm-hmm.
But a favor doesn't always work in that way. And you can see the odds from our partners at LootBad still in favor of Singularity. But maybe things start to change a little bit afterwards. Is that right? Actually, it's Tobiz to come through and take down Prism first. So already we're looking at a potential question mark round. Stomp, however, still here to protect his teammates' lives on the front lines. Neo, if he swings out wide, that could have been a big kill to find, but he's a little bit worried about those CZs, and honestly, rightfully so.
They are trusting the stand-in, the coach, to lock down B. CZ, Molotov, he has some delay tactics available to him, but this is going to be a bit of a dicey situation. The execute can come through from HONORIS. At the very least, they have early indicators. A couple of Molotovs thrown over towards top banana. They still have Neo lurking over towards middle as well. HONORIS haven't quite made up their mind yet, and it does seem like Castle will dodge this bullet.
Wow. He also doesn't throw any utility, so HONORIS might have just expected that there isn't anyone there if they had stayed to check. But with 28 seconds left on the clock, it's time to get your party shoes on. Remo, though, was not ready to do the dance of death. Neo Swinging out again and again. It's Taz to now lead through on the N3. Toba is locked in position, but locked into his grave as well. Nico does, left alone. Needs to clutch this out in a 1v3, and he will not be able to do so despite all of the players being very low. And that round looking very possible for him.
So close. We got the replay in from Castle from a couple rounds ago. Just running out of ammo.
Look at this.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't believe he gets this kill towards CT.
The CT kill was crazy. Yeah.
Catches maybe just a pixel, maybe not even that.
I think I think the CT player shot a bullet. Maybe.
Yeah. But he reacted like as he shot, so I'm willing to say that's not reaction time unless he's the fastest man alive.
I literally wired into Valve's servers directly from his brain.
Yeah, well, I don't think he's quite Barry Allen. This has been a pretty slow round and a slow half in general from HONORIS, and they're looking to take up the pace a little bit. Some utility expended over towards Banana. Remoy dropped down to low HP by the nade. Do they get aggressive off the back of this? No. Remoy, he wants out. He doesn't want to get naded or bombarded any longer.
All their Molotovs used on the D side already, so that's something to write home about. This would be the ultimate big brain play, though. HONORIS, they've been slowing things down all throughout. They decided to hit up the club at 6 a.m. instead. Nico does dodging a few bullets, and he doesn't even feel brave enough to fire back. That's a problem, because he knows that the second they know he's there, that could just be nades flying into his face. Even if a lot of them have been used, you don't want your operator to be tagged down. Remoy, 27 HP, MP9, more of a position to get information, but he does actually get the quick dink in as well. Castle's got an easier time because of that. Neo is down, but he is traded away. Accelerate, always there to save the day, and he's dropping the bomb. Toby is behind him with the M4, coming in and coming alive. 12 seconds on the clock, and Taz has got the world to deal with, but it will not happen. 15-14, and HONORIS suddenly fighting for overtime.
God, what a reaction from Tovas. If he doesn't get that kill from the player jumping out of the apartments, that's likely a double entry from that one player that descends into pit. He keeps himself and his teammate alive in that endeavor. It seems scrambled together from HONORIS, truthfully, though, right? The first player entering into the bomb site has the bomb, and there's nobody there to trade. There's no real footwork being given by the T side, and Singularity just find isolated duels. They're now in the driver's seat. 15-14, of course, there's another HONORIS buy on the horizon, but they have the pieces there. Singularity looking so much better. We said it a few times this map already, but they look so much better on Inferno, and I could certainly see them forcing us into our third map.
This is how you want to see Inferno go, though. 15-14, both teams having a full buy. HONORIS fighting to try and get their 2-0. Singularity hoping to close it out in regulation. This is exactly what you want from a Counter-Strike match. But what I'd also like from a Counter-Strike match is HONORIS trying to make a move slightly earlier than 30 seconds. Let's see whether that'll come through this time.
Oh, it'd certainly be one hell of a call to make when it's a must-win round. Like, yeah, you know that pace we've been going with the entire half? Let's just change it significantly. And, well, it seems like they're going for exactly that. Faster play in through middle. The Molotovs are down in response from Singularity, so they're keeping them back. But a flash right back through the arches, it seemed like they wanted to go off of that in some capacity, but some presence from Celerate does deter them. HONORIS, again, they slow things down.
Oh, HONORIS. Perhaps just getting some second thoughts, saying, "Oh, hey, guys, you know, not so fast, man." But this time, it seems like they're going to be hitting the B side, and this could work out for them.
I mean, they've got Remoy on the AWP.
Yes, that's true. But they've also got two Molotovs. So if you're flashing this out, or a flashbang, they do have a flashbang in Taz's hands. They're not going to use it, though, and that means Remoy with his Molotov can also now nade them down. That's so much space being bought, and his Molly even takes down the bomb. So they have to commit. This is a tragedy of a round already.
27 seconds. Remoy hasn't had the AWP the whole half pretty much, but he's hitting shots so that HONORIS can't get any progress. There's no space created on the site, but there's one more AWPer to follow. Stomp. Can he outshine Remoy, who's close to getting the ace for himself? Another kill from Stomp? Surely not. Surely he doesn't bring this to another clutch. No, Remoy shuts him out. An ace from him to bring Singularity the win on their second map. Force Vertigo.
That's a performance from Remoy, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw in the UI as well, the HUD rather, that Taz had a flashbang equipped, and I was like, whew, phew, they're going to flash him off the angle. They're not just going to get knocked down and then mollied off and then naded down and lose the bomb. Turns out they flash CT.
Yeah. Well, it's a strange call to make as well if you're a Singularity. It's one that I'll give them credit for in the state that Remoy hasn't been AWPing. There hasn't been a double up setup really from that Singularity side, and when they're that close, that's when they pull it out. That's when Remoy shows them like, hey, I can hit shots with this as well.
And I'd like to believe that that's Remoy just saying, guys, listen, I am top fragging and I've been top fragging all damn day long. You will let me buy an AWP if I want to. Because he does take control of that round in literally the ultimate way to do it. He gets an ace against a full buy who even had a flash to technically be able to flash him off, or a couple of mollies as well. But at the end of the day, HONORIS, let's be honest, they didn't really look like they were doing too well on the T side. We were blaming Singularity about how, they're flashing themselves all the time. Sure, but HONORIS just seemed like their pacing was completely off, and they were expecting Singularity to be going for some plays and trying to defend brackets aggressively. And when HONORIS didn't get any kills while they were trying to get brackets control, they're just sitting down and saying, well, now what?
Yeah, it's the old adage of, playing not to lose as opposed to playing to win, right? It seemed like HONORIS were going for so many provisions, trying to make sure they had a counterplay appropriate for aggression from the Singularity side that never really happened. So they just didn't have time to execute the sites in any sort of comfort at all.
Well, with that being said, we've got to go to a short break. We've got Vertigo coming up soon. Hopefully, Singularity can put up a better showing than they did versus Alves, because that should be an exciting one. We'll be back in just a bit. We're back, and we've got ourselves map number 3. Yumi looks a little bit surprised that we're back, but hey, it is Vertigo. Singularity, I'm a bit surprised that we've actually found ourselves on this map after Singularity got whitewashed on it against Arvez, but we just saw a very different Singularity than the entirety of the day on Inferno. Yumi, walk me through that a little bit.
They seem to have had a slow waking up to the games. It seems the fact that it's a stomp from actually both of these teams receiving a stomping in the first game of the day, only for them to answer on each other's map picks. Singularity looked a lot stronger communication wise, just in general execution as well, and just better performances from their individuals. Although we still saw some of the same issues that we've seen predominantly throughout the day from them, some missed utility, some team flashes as well. HONORIS weren't infallible on that end either. So there's a pretty good opportunity for them to really recover. I think Vertigo is still going to be a bit of an odd one considering they received such a stomping from another Polish team earlier on in the day. But at the same time, if it's any sort of consolation, the fact that they've rebounded and recoiled and had such a good performance from individuals, in particular, the likes of Remoy, which we have the stats for on screen, then I could see them certainly taking this one away.
My only concern is one that's kind of mirrored on both sides. First of all, I think that Stomp and a lot of those other players around him started to quiet down quite a bit in Inferno. So even if, like, numerically, Stomp actually just had 20 kills, even though he was on the top overall, it wasn't the same dominant performance from you. And you need your Opera to be alive on Vertigo. You need him to really be hitting those shots. Second problem is that Remoy is doing well, yes, but no one was doing well on Vertigo other than him. Absolutely no one. And HONORIS, their best map is Vertigo. Sure, it's not a great win rate, but it is their best map. It's one that they really like to play. It's one where they really, really like to be able to come alive. And they've actually given quite a few good teams a run for their money. I think they took Endpoint to a 16-14 as well. And I mean, that's where I am. I'm worried, absolutely. But I also think that the HONORIS that I just saw on Inferno was incredibly poor T-side. So my question is just, which one of each team shows up? Because I could see worlds where both of these teams can be completely wrecked.
Yeah, if Singularity come in with a bit more bite to their bark on Vertigo, then you could see them taking it as well. Like you said, the win rate for HONORIS isn't exactly the greatest, though I think for the series as a whole, the win rates aren't super reflective of how things will go, or even which team is picking which map. So I'm unsure because it took a while for Stump to come online. Maybe if he'd sort of gotten a bit more effectiveness on his CT side opening, there could have been a big difference made there. But by and large, it seems like the players like Raiko, like Taz, are really stepping into the field. And even if Stump isn't having those great performances, which, you know, let's not take anything away from him, he had a great second half on Inferno. If he has a slow start again, you expect those same players to kind of step into the limelight and take the reins a little bit.
The other thing to keep in mind as well is that you don't expect Taz to have the same performance that he did on Inferno. That was a one-off that was very much also off the back of the fact that there were a lot of miscoordination and a lot of communication issues going on the side of Singularity. I don't expect that to happen again. But at the same time, I think Reiko does really well on Vertigo as an individual player, so I'm excited to see how that goes. First, though, we need to figure out who exactly starts off where, and that's exactly what our production team is doing as we send it over to the knife round.
Yeah, we didn't get to see too much of one side in particular from the Singularity players last time around. They really did struggle to get too many rounds on their T side, but hopefully things go a little bit better for them, as they will actually get the freedom of choice. And you'd think they maybe start in CT, get a good start going, but I mean, we need to see how well-rounded the other side is as well. So if they don't get a good advantage to go into that second half, I think this could open the door pretty wide open for HONORIS to take the reins.
Oh no, you're absolutely right. I think this is going to be the telling point. I actually like that we started off with Honors on the T half. We get to know exactly where they stand. And you know what, Loopbet, our partners, they think Honor stands out on top despite them being slightly heartbroken, I'm sure, by their previous odds. I mean, before the previous map, we saw them predicting, I think it was a 128 to like a 502 or something. So you can see why perhaps they're a bit more conservative this time.
Actually, I did get it mixed up. I think Singularity started on the T side last time around, so we'll see if their CT side has sort of found a bit more form now that they're hitting their shots on the Singularity side. Honoris, though, very fast play towards the A bomb site. And while the bomb getting planted very early on, not much utility to prevent the plant, no sort of counter nades, no counter utility to prevent that. So 5-on-5 retake, they have a kit, a smoke available. The Singularity are going to be hard pressed. A fourth push by Stomp, Reiko able to at least get one, and Prism as well will chime back through, but a man advantage held for Singularity to start, and now that smoke's deployed.
Oh!
Applies so much more pressure, but Remoy, a great shot. Taz on the flank has no real chance to get into this.
Well, Remoy is at least starting off strong, so, you know, he's ready to have a good game when he comes through with 3 kills on the pistol round without dying. A very straightforward retake comes through from Singularity, already looking like this could be a good start. Can I just say, Honoris, where was this fast-paced plant on your Inferno, guys?
Yeah.
Come on. But this is still Singularity who have to come through and show us a little bit more than just a pistol round win. It's a good start to things. You can already see they look a lot more put together. But this is the round where their wits will be tested. 4 Galils, some utility, and a Mac 10 coming through. I could easily see this going the way of Honoris.
Well, Singularity have changed their tune from the last time they played Vertigo. Previously, just giving up ramp control, not really playing behind the smokes, not really applying pressure to that T side, but this time they look ready to take those fights. Honoris, the smokes will begin to fade, but Nico's found a kill above the smoke before that's happened, and so a nice advantage for Singularity to start.
Well, Prism, he's left up to get aggressive, finds one, but he's not expecting Remoy's position. Remoy will come out on top, as he so often has. Even flashes himself out so that he can get away to safety, but safety is not found anywhere if Neo's on the hunt. A 3v2, Singularity once again trying to retake. This time it's against full Gleals, so Gleals, yes, Gleals indeed. Galeals. Full Galeals. I'm sorry, this is very much an English practicing session for me at this point. No one's having any action. MP9, though, is easier to say and it's easier to use, but unfortunately, he doesn't realize Rico's on his side, and it will end up falling. Toba's left in a 1 versus 3 is bound to save. Gleel.
You're ruining that word for me now. I'm just... you say a word enough times, you begin to think it's not even a real word. But the Galeals will Galeave Tobas to save this M4.
That's so bad.
Yeah, I mean, you had an English session, I have a bad pun session instead. And Singularity get a singular round on field as well. So good stuff from them. I mean the fact that Honoris, the fact that Honoris get onto the site so easily after losing that early man advantage is a bit of a worrying sign. But at the very least, they keep that M4 in Tobas' hands, and maybe you can deal some damage with it.
That's so bad. Can you imagine being broken up with like that? I'm going to leave you.
Why do you immediately go to breakup text?
That would be the most confusing one in the world. But confusion will be there for the CT side and how to bring this round back together. They do have pistols and they have found some success with them in the past, but not on Vertigo. The rocket pop still in the hands of Reiko. I'm probably just calling them skin names instead of the actual gun.
I feel like that's harder somehow. You have to like
That's true.
memorize the skins database. But
True. I don't actually know much about skins. That's the problem. Like I don't know what this is. This is like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Wolf skin.
it's the Cerberus, I think.
Really? Oh.
Something
Okay,
like
because
that.
there's three. There's a dog with like 3 heads. Okay, that makes sense. Remoy though, he's got a deagle. Can he find a dog though? Looks like so far not going to be the case. He's waiting for the cross to come in. Will not find the first shot. Reiko running and gunning with the.
Oh
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. That's reasonable too, guys. Running and gunning, and then Neo getting a kill through the smoke. If Singularity are banging their tables and calling BS, I am very much on your side.
Yeah, that is really unfortunate. They were setting up for a bit of a retake. They're trying to reorganize their inventories, but Neo's just not having any of it. Sort that stuff out before the site's taken. Once again, though, they'll allow these Singularity players to save, of course, getting a grips of their own economy, trying to bolster it that way. And while Singularity having forced into this round, they don't really have the most amount of money for the follow-up, so just what they have in this round and what they are able to save over will be the only sort of silver linings that they'll have into the next round. And I do hope we get to see more aggression from the Singularity side, considering how reserved they played last time around and how many times it came back to bite them by doing so.
They were on retakes on the A site 9 times out of 10, and they lost those 8 times out of 7. So it wasn't really going well for them, unfortunately. This time, though, I mean, this round's a bit of a throwaway. Tobis is on his trusted CZ. If he can find a few kills, he's happy with it, but not too much so. Not quite the $300 kill bonus.
God, some of the angles that they're pre
are
so ridiculous.
I have not seen this before. Like,
what a boost.
And they can both get wrecked. They can.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But still. Okay, Taz does take down Tobis.
They go for it again.
I don't even know. Like, I don't think either one of us should be saying anything until these players get off of each other's heads.
Well, now they'll do it because Castle's cleared out middle, so there's really no reason they should be going for that. But can he get something done on the flank here? It doesn't seem like HONORIS have too many players to really look at this position, but oh, Castle's clearing out all the nooks and crannies and instead gets peeked by a player wide out in the open. HONORIS is a man advantage. The A bomb site is certainly exposed. Prism and Taz finish things up over at A, and Remoy just having a little KZ session in his own right, just jumping around, having a great time, looking for the gun that ultimately, I think, fell off the map. So, rather unfortunate.
My definition of having a great time is not, jumping around at the edge of a very tall building. But there are people who are actually into that in both YouTube videos that are very scary.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate for KZ, so
I agree. KZ is actually quite fun.
Yeah,
but I like the KZ Otaku map instead. So, but yes, Remoy, he's found himself a kit. He has a P250. It's a consolation, but it's not a very good one. HONORIS, with 4 players kept alive and a lot of money now being built up, they are very happily hammering in on Singularity's heads, because now Singularity, they have a buy but not an AWP, and even that buy is going to be won without too many Molotovs. Tobis has done this before where he drops an op though, and he just keeps himself on an MP9 without armor. This time, however, he decides against it. He says, I get to keep my big green gun.
Yeah, he's yet to find a frag, so he wants a piece of the action. The AWP is his weapon of choice. See if that's a poor decision or not. Nico typically the one that wields it for Singularity, but maybe that small shift up could go a long way for Tobis to get on field.
Tobis, the X-ray's messing with us now.
I will say before we get into the action, KZ I feel like is underappreciated in the position. Doesn't make a great individual player, but it certainly adds a lot to their mechanics and abilities. You look at Acor versus Simple. Simple, I think, is a better player overall, but Acor just has some lovely movement.
All right, I can live with that. I mean, I quite enjoy KZ personally, so you know, I'm on your side on this one. Tobis, however, probably needs some lovely movement to be able to get himself outside of a pinch without armor. But first, there will be some good old-fashioned smokes going out over towards the B-bomb site where they are headed to. They're actually very slow considering that you've thrown all their smokes over. I guess they want to let Singularity think this is a fake, but with how much control Singularity have over Ramp, they know this is a B-side hit.
And the follow-up utility will confirm that as well. On the box, Tobiz is the Molotov always flushing him out. He's still burning alive, no armor. He goes down to the flames. Meanwhile, Raiko takes out his supporting player in Castle as well. So they have the site under their control. The only close player that can really deal with this is Nico, but he's taken out by Stomp on the AWP. Taz on the lurk, unable to find a frag. So it's still equal between the two teams. For now, the utility now fading for Honoris, and while there's kits available, only the singular flash can make things more difficult. Raiko fully blinded up, but still up close and personal. Here's the steps. Remoy, he doesn't quite know that his position has been given up after so many failed attempts. KZ certainly necessary. Accelerate. One more player stands in his path. The AWP from Stomp will tag him down, and Raiko finishes things off. Honoris, a much more successful take of the B-bomb site, and one in which Singularity, although they had some early indicators, fully trusted that it could, of course, be a double back towards the A-bomb side as well.
I'm very appreciative of the fact that you called out how important KZ is now. I feel bad for Remoy.
Too many times.
Yeah, I feel bad for Remoy. I mean, he's been having a very good game so far, but that's some unfortunate timing in what we're saying and what's happening with him. Raiko will have his teammate cleaning up everything. Taz is getting all the eco frags. Raiko would like some of the action, but again, why is it always him who steals away the ace?
This time I think it's a bit more justified. Taz sits on 3 HP. You know, he's trying to save his life.
You say that, but Taz is probably, you know, this is why Honoris doesn't want to call for a tactical pause, because you know some sleeves are being rolled up in the room.
Come on, Raiko. That's my second ace.
Come on, man. Like, I don't have that many left. I'm coming down to try and train you youngsters.
Let me have the eco.
Well, that was in the contract. Remoy, though, he's not been having quite as much of a standout game as he was before, but nice to see him step up here and there when he can. Just, you know, find a few players to the smoke. Why not? Tobis. Oh, wow. That is an insane peak.
Yeah. Both the offers getting decimated on either side of the coin.
Nikodo's still alive, though, with an AWP of his own. Can he find anyone? Taz. Okay. That's a first kill throughout the entire round from Accelerate, where it's not through a wall or a smoke.
Wow. This man doesn't really need to see what's going on to still contribute. So 3-on-3 and Honoris are moving back towards the B-bomb site. For now, it's vacant. Singularity don't have initial presence on that site to really find out what's going on, and the bomb makes its way over. They're clearing a path. They're going a lot quicker than we saw them on Inferno as well, getting a bit more space on the site before time runs low. Nico, not spotting out Neo, and that's going to be the death of him. The AWP dropped. Remoy is there to try and provide some semblance of hope, but he falls as well, and Accelerate's just going to save.
We hope. But realistically, Singularity, off of not being able to find Neo and take him down, that is just a round being thrown away. Money's never great on the CT side, but it feels like they're not doing too much to help themselves out if Neo is able to find that kill so easily. Accelerate not really choosing to nestle away in a corner, instead trying to live out the rest of his years in a nomadic lifestyle in an attempt to take his gun forward into the next world, or the next round in this case, but well, it's not meant to be.
Yeah, I hadn't quite realized how out of hand the money has got on Honoris. Yeah. Raiko, Taz, one of them's capped, the other one's pretty close behind him.
And the rest of them aren't too poor from themselves. It's more just like the 1%er versus the 2%er.
Yeah, Singularity are really struggling, but you know who's not struggling? It's our
Oh.
lovely partners over at Hellcase, who are the biggest and most known case opening website with almost 100 cases, updated case battles, upgraders, dozens of giveaways per month, and more absolutely unique features. You won't get bored with Hellcase, and you can use the promo codes that were shown on screen to save more and grab what you deserve.
Wow, that sounds convincing. And there are partners too, so support some great Counter-Strike while you're at it.
Amen.
Molotov flies in. Nikodos somehow dodges it completely. Stomp and Prism take a few heads of their own, and Stomp is looking for more. He's very hungry, this man is, but he will not find anything else to feast on. Neo, in the meanwhile, has found the entirety of the B1 site, and he's swinging out. Okay, Neo.
The crazy man.
Yeah, he is. You know what I was saying earlier? I was just like, eco frags, eco. No. I do not need to be the devil on their shoulder.
Yeah. See, you start out as a whisper. Neo's got a devil on his shoulder who's yelling.
Neo is on the devil's shoulder saying, go get those ecos. It is important, though, just to make sure that the CTs aren't able to save their Kevlar, and also that they're not able to get a stray weapon like that one in front of Cellrite. Cellrite has learned his lesson, though, Yumi. He is no longer going to be trying to be a nomad. He will just try and gather some moss, not be a rolling stone, and that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, of course, keeps their money pretty high on the Honoris side by hunting those players down, make sure there's no loose cannons on the Singularity side, but a really convincing start here from Honoris. Singularity having a few more issues on this map. Thought it was always a possibility, maybe they learned enough from Inferno to bounce back, but the map is proving to be a bit of a difficult one to overcome. Well, they certainly changed a few things from that first time playing it today. Honoris just seemed to be, well, I mean, really just hitting the shots and exploiting gaps in the defense where they spot them.
Ooh. Need to fly through. Prism and Remoy are about to have a tete-a-tete inside the smoke. It's a romantic evening, but maybe not the not the brightest of ideas to have it with guns. Prism takes Remoy down, and it will be a 5 versus 3 as Neo doubles it up. And Nate Castle's face will not be particularly nice.
Toby's has a small gap in the smoke to play around, and Neo seems interested in plucking that up as soon as possible. Toby's no longer has that angle. So information starved over on the B-bomb side, but they are wrapping through towards A, if I'm not mistaken. Based on the minimap, they have a bit of middle control. They can certainly cause some issues. Or no, wait, they're just clearing out A ramps. The vertical map always makes things a little bit more difficult. Topaz, does he spot out Neo? He had the opportunity to, but he's not quite seen him fast enough. Neo, now he pushes through. Now he finds it with the flash and actually comes ahead in the duel when Topaz seemed to have the upper hand. So that 5-on-3 gets further and further away. Cellrite finding Prism, the two A-site defenders, and they're going to try their hand at this, at least try and punish Honoris for maybe over-pushing, but there's so much money in the tank that Honoris will really try and hunt these players down.
I mean, Honoris, come on, guys. You've got
more so much money.
Yeah, you've got more money than Neo and Taz did on Virtus Pro. All right. Rico just gets taken down. Okay, guess not.
Yeah, I thought they were going to hunt far more aggressively for this, but...
Also, not one by one, you know. On the bright side, very small bright side, but, you know, it's like a pinprick of light coming in. Nikodos is the one who gets the kills. So, you know, it's just $50 for the dual kills, so, you know, not giving away that $600.
Yeah, Topaz's little experiment with the AWP has gone awry. He's still not had the best of performances, where it was Singularity having everybody contribute on Inferno. There's a few open open-ended players, at least on the Singularity side, that have yet to really find their feet.
There's a few slots left to fill.
Yes, indeed.
Prism. Hoping to fill up Accelerate with some bullets. While Neo has found so much success over towards the B-bomb side, it seems like he's just able to get onto it for free every single time, and the CTs are now sick of that. They've postured slightly more aggressively. Accelerate. No, sorry, it's Castle. Not Accelerate. It's Castle to try and anchor that one up. He's in a great position, though. He could find these players and line them up, but he doesn't keep on going. And that lack of bravery means that he could end up being caught out. Neo is going to fall, though, as Castle just keeps on going aggressive, is chasing in. Prism knows he can't really go for this kill because of his own HP. And now, seems like the world is on fire, and no one can save it but HONORIS.
Yeah, they need to deal with Castle. He's preventing that player with the bomb from getting towards the site. Tobiz as well. If he gets a kill there, that would have been catastrophic. Castle now moving in to try and secure things in as the wrap through mid happens, but Remore's there to pick up the pieces. A flash up through Taz, a lovely entry to clear things up, make sure that Prism can get himself onto the site. And in fact, Remore, as he pulls out the smoke, Stomp peeks him. So a man advantage held by HONORIS now as this bomb gets planted. Nico still looking for a sightline in.
Nico. They do hear him drop down. That is for certain. Do they hunt? Come on. Come on, guys.
Surely.
How many times are you going to let the CT just get another buyout? I mean, it apparently doesn't matter too much to them, but even so. Maybe Stomp doesn't hunt, you know, maybe not give them the double op, but other than that, they already have an AK and an op. It's not like your weapons really matter to them. They do at least try and go for the hunt this time, though, so I'll give them props for that.
Yeah, a little slow, but they do move together at the very least. Make sure Singularity.
Watch their Inferno.
Yeah, true. I meant on the hunt. I like a fast-paced hunt.
Yeah, I like a fast-paced bomb plant on Inferno too, but hey, we can't have nice things at times, you mean? We do have some pretty nice showings from HONORIS, though. Taz having a really nice entry in the previous one, and generally just everyone chiming in wherever they need to, not really having too many troubles. And surprisingly enough, their favored site so far has seemed to be B, although that is much rarer for teams.
Yeah, and it's a bit heartbreaking if you're a Singularity fan, because they've made the adaptations on A that I think were necessary the first time they played this today. But, like you said, the crucial point of contention has been the other site.
Oh, Prism. Molotov goes out. Need to go with. It does tag down Nico does, and Stomp, well, he needs to come back into this and get something done for himself. Flashbang will go deep, and with that, it is a 5 versus 3. Toba is finding one. Rico does bring things back just a little bit, and it seems like the B-bomb site is yet again their destination. They should know that Tobis is here. Tobis is able to find one. Does he realize there's more coming his way? Seems like he is aware of it, but the flashbang means he is already down, but not quite yet. Tobis comes back from the grave to try and duel. He will not win it. At least I get to say he came back from the grave.
A much better showing from Tobiz. His first 2 kills and maybe a round win off the back of it from Singularity. Nico as well punishing the push from Taz, looking for an equalizing frag. Now just Stomp. We've seen this man in the clutch. He can certainly deliver. So many angles to clear, so many possible avenues into the site here for Singularity. First one found on the flank. That's Remore dropped. The smoke as well will deny some information for Stomp, but how do they double up? How do they contest this AWP pressure? For now, another smoke will hinder his view. Now they're slowly making their way in towards the bomb site. Stomp, though, he catches the glimpse. Nico exposed around the smoke, around the site. Celebrate trying to catch him out, but Stomp does it all. Exactly what you want from one of these star players on the side of HONORIS. Stomp the 1 versus 3.
He just delivers. You put him in these 1v3s with the bomb down, he just delivers every single time. Stomp. Beautiful adjustment as well. He was going to check the left side of the double oranges, but that micro flick coming in there, that's not an easy job at all.
And considering he hasn't had the best of showings thus far in this game, to just come into a clutch situation and just say, boys, step aside, I got this.
It's okay, guys. Have you forgotten who I am? Go check out Inferno. But 10-1. I have a feeling we might break that record of a 1-11 loot bet odds for our next half if things keep going this way. Let's wait to find out. Maybe Singularity can bring things back a little bit. Things are as difficult as can be, though, when you consider the fact that HONORIS has infinite money. It's like that scene in Space Jam where it says just getting a little bit one-sided, isn't it? And speaking of one-sided, that op deal sure as hell is, and Nico takes it away.
So Stomp misses the easy ones, hits the hard ones, it seems. The 15-degree window applies to more than one player, maybe. This time a very forward play from Singularity, but they miss the smoke. They can't contain them in towards bridge. Taz spots them as they go for the boost to try and get atop the boxes, and they're still fighting for this control. Colt with the smoke in his hand. Accelerate's gone. Taz the double entry. Neo as well chimes in with the kill as well over on the B-bomb site. Some great positions taken up initially, but HONORIS have answered right back. At least they bring it closer. Taz dealt with. They get that flank underway, but do they even go for this? They've had to save so many times, and HONORIS already have such a strong half on this T side.
I think 2006 gold. Because Neo and Taz are needed back there, man. That was some good old-fashioned, old-school Virtus Pro versus Astralis Taz, man. Like, the two entries right in, and he's been sick with those so far. He's 13-4, although he's been entry fragging. That's really good to see. And Neo as well, I mean, he's just been continually finding space wherever he goes, generally in towards the B-bomb site, which he single-handedly has opened up so many times. They're having a really good game. Oh, okay. All right. Some BM from Prism.
I wasn't sure if his plan was to jump off so that he survived the bomb but didn't die to the full damage.
That would have been very cool.
That would have been like the tiniest window to do it.
Yes.
And if he'd done it, it would have been incredible. But
yes. Like the Matrix elevator scene.
Yeah. But it's kind of strange, right? Because when you think of HONORIS as a whole, especially the recent performances they've had, Neo and Taz aren't the ones that you look to get those frags. They're usually the sort of more clutch-dependent players or a bit more sort of cerebral. Yeah. But no, they're just taking these fights and winning them outright. Neo with an entry to start things off. Nico's there to trade, so that's that lurking pressure gone.
You say that, but Prism is a bit of a lurker himself. Not putting too much pressure on, but he is a lurker. A 3 versus 4 where Taz is still very much alive and kicking, so don't count them out of anything. Taz can still come in and take control. Rico, also known as the legendary Stealer of Aces, is also doing really well on 12-4 though. So all around, you can't count out HONORIS at any point with any one of these three players alive, actually, to be honest. Tom's been clutching. Rico and Taz have been just entry fragging like crazy, so this could be some good stuff.
Well, the execute comes through. Some good counter nades deployed by Castle to buy him a bit more room. Some nades, preventative ones at that. The smoke for now will give him coverage. Nico able to get some damage on, find a kill on the first, the second as well. Stomp's now all that's left. The man in the clutch, but this time far too many players on screen at once. And Singularity, they'll get a second round on the CT side. It has been a pretty long road to finally break into that. But maybe they can recover this half to something a little bit more respectable. There's a big asterisk next to that.
Yeah, I'm looking at their money. That's the problem. You know, now they do. So their money's actually surprisingly good because of how many times they've saved on two players. So they will have a buy even if they lose this. So you know, some hope is there. They don't have to feel too pressured, but you're not thinking about even if we lose this. You're thinking we have to win this if you're on the side of Singularity. Prism again has gotten quite aggressive. Nade flying through at the perfect time, perfect place, but just not flying far enough, otherwise it could have done a massive amount of damage. Now, looking to just molly out the lane, make sure that he can move in, creep in without being contested too much. Stomp already in position behind the sandbags, waiting for his players to make their way over. Taz and Prism come through with one apiece. Alright, and Tobis are good with the response.
How quick everything falls. A couple entries, a couple of response frags from Singularity. Prism able to get another. Nico forced out of the angle by the Molotov, able to reposition using the smoke. And for now, he's closer than the Honoris players may expect. The first kill in is good. Reiko just around that smoke. The utility, oh, it almost deals enough damage to kill off Neo. Would have forced Prism into the 1 versus 2, but for now, he's elusive around that smoke. Prism just has to bait, buy time, and allow Neo some space to escape. They're still spamming away. They try and attack this player down, but Alright. They jump up herd, Prism pre-firing the angle. Neo, can he get anything done from this position? For now, he's gone unchecked. He's gone unmarked, and I think Prism's grown enough attention. Neo, the backstab. Prism will swing as well. The quick trade from Honoris. It's perfectly played between the two. Just baiting and baiting and baiting for Neo to finally come online, and he does.
They will still have a buy on the CT side, but unfortunately, they're getting dangerously close to getting a different kind of buy. A good buy.
Oh, I saw it coming, but I couldn't stop it.
Well, the question is, do they see Nikodos' peak coming? Because they need to stop it. They want to get that 13. They want to get that safety net where you're saying, hey, we just need to win the pistol and we've already won the game. Honor is already in a pretty good place to do that, though, so, you know, they're not too bothered. But Accelerate coming out big, taking down Taz early. That's a big bad wolf with the entry frag already taken away. Castle swings out, will not go down to stop, but it's Neo to swing through and save his youngster.
Couple players still on this B bomb side. Tobe is taking the initiative, taking the phase. Reiko caught with the utility out. Neo couldn't provide support either. Stomp, a good response, but they're answering back. Stomp's still on very low HP as well. A singular tick of damage from the nade, from the utility, could certainly be his undoing. But for now, they're actually splitting up, separating, allowing for Prism to maybe take more space over towards the A bomb site. And though he spots him on our screens, he's unaware that that player was in that position. Stomp now with the low HP. Don't think he's going to have too many chances to make this one work. The bomb dropped over at A, an AWP in hand, and Singularity. They're not giving him those individual faces. They've run to secure the package.
The ultimate power move would just be to jump off the building.
He doesn't have that much money left. But I mean, really,
it's
this
the
last round.
so...
Yeah, so I mean, it doesn't matter. Also, that affects his stats.
No, but it also means that the enemy's team stats.
True.
That's what you got to think of. Storm's already got his stats down, but Accelerate getting that extra one. Now he's 10-9 on CT side, man. Now he's got a positive scoreline on CT.
See, he threw me off with that very elaborate joke. The goodbye. I was thinking like, yeah, do they have a bye next round? Oh, yes.
They have a great bye next round. But we've got for ourselves. Oh my god!
Days. It just gets worse and worse as the days go on.
Oh. That's got to be breaking some kind of record.
Yeah, our partners just keep on piling it on.
Lupe partners, guys, if you're listening to this, can you tweet me and tell me what the record for odds is? Because that's gonna be like getting close to it at the end of a half. Ooh.
All right, so our partners over at LoopBet have completely written off Singularity. No hope, not a chance.
It would be funny if at one point you just get like less than 1 for betting on Honoris. You can get a 0.95. But I mean, it sucks for Singularity fans as well. Unfortunately, just you know, the problem is also there is a significant issue that their coach is playing, and that the B bomb site was exploited a lot of times because Notan isn't there. So now they've got to win out on this pistol round. Now they're on the T side where, you know, realistically one player can do a lot more altogether. So let's see how it goes. Two players on the Honoris side have utility, but not really a grenade. So playing that anti-plant setup is very difficult. Instead, they're actually playing a full 5 versus 5 retake. They're coming in from ramp to contest. They have the first, they have the second. Looks like it will be stopping at just that for now, though, as Castle comes in and tags one up. Prism, though, as I say, that comes through. It still keeps on going. He's sticking to the fuse, doesn't look like it, but he's put Cellrate into a tricky situation where he's forced to take the peek with Nikodos. However, Cellrate is happy to continue peeking forward. Finds himself a couple of kills. Taz left, 1v2, and he is looking crisp, as can be. Looking for more, knows where the last player is, needs to stick it out at this point, but why do that when you can try and go for a kill? Cellrate will win the round and do that there and then. Fourth round for Singularity comes up. Nicely done.
Yep, Taz had the kit after the first shot, thought maybe he was going to have enough of it in the tank to push Honors further forward, but Singularity, they deal with the flank very effectively. The fact that they lose minimal amounts of players after recognizing the flank had come through and just pushing that one out, making it so that it had to be the initial site push back from the CT side to get that retake. A great read and great adaptation just on the fly there from Singularity to fight those players head on. We'll see if they can compound that into something more, because right now they're meeting the 5-7 of Neo, and he's done a lot of damage with that and the nade.
The Delta split coming out for the nade, man. It's like a chain frost.
Alright, let's not confuse people with the Dodo Link.
Yeah. Still 4-on-4 though. Honoris. They have quite good positions to come through and surprise them. It's Rico to come out as a jack-in-the-box that they're not ready for. And with these players being as low as they are, it seems like Singularity is fated to lose out this force buy. However, Stomp with that Deagle is perhaps missing a few too many shots. Taz, in the meanwhile, spots out a hit, but he can't quite tap it down. 50 seconds on the clock. Bomb on the site, but Taz waiting for it to peek out. Taz can't win out the 1v2. And it is going to be another round for Singularity. One which it seemed went maybe a bit too far with 2 of those kills from Rico.
Yeah, some crucial shots being missed by Taz in that situation. He could have brought that into a one-on-one, maybe played around the boxes, but he missed the opportunity. Singularity will happily take that little bit of a Hail Mary. Like you said, far too close for comfort, given that that's the anti-force fight. Well, this time it should be a little bit easier. Just the pistols, no real armor except for Raiko. Once again, a bit more of an emphasis over towards B from Singularity. Oh, okay. Neo just gets sandwiched in towards that B-bomb site faster than you could. I could really register it. They get through middle with the SMGs. They track him down, and after all that emphasis from Honoris over on the A-bomb site with the pistols, well, Nico is just going to try and clean up 3 kills for him. Reiko trying to recover the rifle, but Tobiz instead covers it. So good anti-eco from Singularity.
Yeah. All around, some great stuff. Singularity bringing it up to 6 rounds. Honoris yet to get anything on their CT side, and dare I say it, the
Lootback guy is sweating.
Is this the 14-25? Yeah, Lootback. Guys, I'm sorry, but I feel like you guys are about to go bankrupt because one guy would have just like put all of his house on them. Okay, yeah. So the odds are still there.
They're sticking to their guns.
All right, I see how it is. 12 to 6. The boost coming up from Honoris, but not quite getting that frag.
And Reiko finds one over at B as well. So a lot of information gathered. They know there's some presence in through middle. The presence over towards B as well. They're hoping to get a split underway again, but Prism, the angle taken, it's so strong. So much damage done to Tobiz, and Taz can just easily clean that one up. So middle control gained by Honoris. Now just Singularity to try and find some space elsewhere. It seems like A will be the play. Castle and Remoy look to gather their forces in that direction. For now, Honoris are playing as though the site has been conceded. They're playing for the retake instead. Of course, they have that numbers advantage, so they can have that luxury.
Oh. Castle and Remoy. Remoy's not had the best of games. This would be a great time for him to start stepping up. It's been his only quiet game so far, and he really likes to be able to save the day. Yet again, comes through with one. Can he get two? Knows where the positions are. Swings out, but he can't connect with the shots. It's all on Castle. And Castle, they seem to know where he is. Kaz is going to be checking his angle, as well as Rico. The AWP turns around. He's got the timing. He's got one, but not the second task with the headshot angle. Will take it away, and it looked like Castle would be able to at least turn it into a 1 versus 1, but Honoris is going to find the 13th round.
Yeah, good presence of mind, good patience as well to reset the spray, but just unable to get the shot to land. He pulls it close, that is for sure, but Honoris, like you said, finally get themselves a CT side round. And after a lot of information was given up to that Honoris side, they go for the boost, they spot middle control, they go for a reaction as well. When we looked at Aves earlier on in the day, they quite often conceded middle control, just nobody really playing it on either side of the coin. Singularity didn't go for it either, but they have certainly made the adaptations, putting a bit more emphasis that direction. We'll see if the A bomb site is a bit of a weakness, however. Oh no, Reiko has so much control. He's cleared all the way through B. They can stack this A bomb site so comfortably, and he makes sure that they cannot go back.
Castle, just a deagle to work with, but he wants to come through big. Kaz, however, is very aggressive already. Comes through with the deagle. But unfortunately for him, both himself and his partner, so many years will fall. However, he's got some kids left behind to do his dirty work for him. Unfortunately, turns out they're not really up for the task, except maybe Stomp. If he can pull off this 1v3, that would be the end of days for Singularity, more likely than not. Money would be broken, and so would their spirits be.
Yeah, surely he doesn't win another 1vx. They know he was spotted over at A earlier on, so they... Like, you understand why they'd be timid in the approach. They have to make sure that to play as many mind games as possible. They're grinding down the clock. Stomp has to be concerned about a flank momentarily. Of course, that's open opportunities for Singularity.
Oh, Stomp, nicely done. Flicks for the pass, gets a second! And suddenly, the possibilities are endless, but not for Singularity. But then there's only one chance, and they have to get the shot. Nico Dawes will be looking to peek out, but Stomp is the impenetrable fortress. With his AWP, knows that Nico Dawes is coming his way soon enough, but he's going for a gamble. Nico Dawes has been given a chance, but not quite being able to capitalize. Stomp will put his foot down with 4 kills. 13-11 may not be an impressive scoreline, but when you consider some of the rounds that he has had, oh me, oh my.
He cannot keep getting away with these, man. The 1 versus 4 on Inferno. A 1 versus 3 earlier on in this game as well on the T side. Now he pulls another one out of the hat. How many clutches do you need to pull this offer into? Retakes are supposed to be hard with the ult, but not for Stomp.
Yeah, he's an okay player, it seems like.
I just can't believe that he's able to do it time and time again. Just when Singularity looked like they have a good round, they play slow, they play a little scared in honesty. But that's exactly why. They give him so much respect, but he still comes through. Celebrate this time round will boost up, take down Taz in middle. Honoris are knocking at the door. One more round to at least secure the overtime. It would have to be 9 straight from there on out from Singularity. So this has to be a win or a 1 round from then. Remoy getting overwhelmed. Reiko takes the bomb down as well after the push through T stairs. And that's information gained. Honoris can begin to stack over to this B bomb site. Reiko's low HP. He's called for reinforcements. And now this becomes so much harder. Singularity, how do you recover it from here?
You put your hands together and pray?
That might be an appropriate response.
Unfortunately, they don't have utility. That's the biggest problem, because Vertigo, it's the easiest. It seems like the easiest like map in the world to get a bomb plant as a T sign, but they don't have a bomb or utility. So things get very, very dicey when you consider that you can't flash these CTs off the angle. You are relying entirely on the flank from Celebrate to come in, and Celebrate has found some ground, but that ground is quickly taken away from him. Soon it's just Neo left to finish things off along with his trusted teammates. 15th round for Honoris, and it's winding up.
Yeah, what a play from Reiko to really push the initiative over at B. We saw him do it in a previous round, but it went unchecked. He went in from the flank instead.
Oh, sorry. I thought Honoris was going for the BM timeout. My bad.
Okay,
my bad.
Okay.
My bad. Sorry.
I was just about to say. I was like, okay. But yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, just what a play from Reiko. Great presence of mind to get a bit more aggressive in towards B. Singularity caught completely off guard. And well, now it has to be 9 straight.
It has to be... Can we get the Lubet partner odds, just in case? I'm just curious at this point. Are they still on 1 to 1425? But I guess it might be a bit late to ask for those, in all fairness. Stomp. I'd like him to start getting some early picks just to end around that. You know, just bat up your stats a bit. He does try and go for it, but he also reveals his position. Celebrate still in the smoke, could find him and take him down, but Stomp will find the no-scope headshot. Always nice to see, and even nicer to see him follow it up with a few great kills. And that's exactly what I was talking about. Remoy. You've had a few good runs, but yours is done.
Yeah, jeez. Oh, we thought